Attention fans, welcome to tonight's home opener of Enka football. First up, we'd like to remind everyone that our track is under construction and we need you to make every effort to stay off of the track. Folks, we need everyone that doesn't have business on the track. Please do us a favor, as it is under construction. Only step 1 of 3 has been completed. We'd really appreciate it if you stay off the track tonight. Thank you. We'd also like to welcome everyone to Buncombe County facilities. As a reminder, they are 100% tobacco-free. This includes all forms of tobacco products, including forms of spit tobacco, and also electronic cigarettes and vape materials. Thank you for your respect, and we hope you enjoy tonight's game. Working the concessions tonight, we have the Enka Foundation. Working 50-50 is the softball team. We have new t-shirts available under the blue tent down towards the sunny side of the end zone. Hats, visors, and t-shirts to keep it. Also, keep these following dates in mind. Our fishing tournament is October 26th at the Chateau. You can get info at the blue tent or ask your 50-50 worker. We'd also like to, this time, say thank you to our Enka sponsors. Asheville Real Estate, Kubota of Asheville, Legacy Contracting, DeBrules, Black Orthodontics, Candler's Lion Club, RLC Service Group, Pole Creek Church, Ken Wilson and Eddie McGill, Westridge Auto, Phil Price Law, Champion Credit Union, All Out Landscaping, JSS Homes, Great Beginnings and Great Smiles, Telco Community Credit Union, Jetstop, ICI Door Control, Brian Turner, Sandhill Grocery, Wheel City Motors, the law offices of Jim Edmonds, Biltmore Company, McKinney Insurance, Fast Med Urgent Care, Mountain Ultrasound, Palm World, Discount Shoes, Leonard's Auto Mart, Appalachian Motors, Vulcan Materials, Rhodes Glass, Champion Collision, Caring for Children, Sutton Law Firm, Mountain Credit Union, Applebee's, Miami Restaurant, the Enka Band Boosters, the Enka School Foundation, Zaxby's, Sign One, Ingalls, Food Lion, Griffin Waste, and Valley Gallery.
Let's take a break.
Outstanding win last night for the Maroon Devils, and I know our coaches and the team are very proud.
Okay, we're out. Hey, yeah, let's do 2 2-minute breaks, and then there's Taylor's interview, and then there's also the highlights from last week's highlights package, and those are each 5 minutes long, so you guys can have a decent break. Do you want to do that when they do the national anthem? Yeah. You could come back and throw it to the interview first. Yeah, or we could do actually let's do the highlights first because we actually refer to a lot of the plays. Yeah, let's do that. Sounds good. Okay, got about a
Folks,
minute.
also
10.
available tonight, if you visit the blue tent
I'll let
at
you
the
know
top
you
of the
got
home
20.
side, you can pick up a game roster. You can stop over at the blue tent. Game rosters are available.
How are you?
All right, you.
I'm alive.
I just sat here. I was like, dang it, first it's got lost. Yep. Yes. I'm sure.
Holy.
Then Kobe's going to hear him.
Yeah, you're getting there. How are you doing today, sir? You want live? I'm out here some crap.
Okay, back in 10.
It's an issue that I'm having to deal with.
Okay, you're live.
Folks, don't forget, we would also like to welcome everyone to tonight's game and remind you each that Buncombe County facilities are 100% tobacco-free. This includes all forms of tobacco products, including all forms of spit tobacco and electronic cigarettes, along with vape materials. Thank you for your respect, and we hope that you enjoy tonight's game. We'd also like to thank Kenneth Lunsford and the fine folks at Applebee's for their support again tonight, and we'd like to remind everyone that Applebee's will be open late tonight after the game, so drop on by. They are open until 2 a.m.
Elected to go for a field goal. Sophomore Gavin Lanning calmly connected on his first career field goal from 20 yards out to give the Maroon Devils a 10-0 lead just minutes into the second quarter. Facing 2nd and 4 to go from the Maroon Devils' 37-yard line, the Mustangs only had 19 seconds remaining. Chris Wilburn hit Darian Bird, who beat the Swain defense for a 37-yard touchdown. The point after was good, and the two teams headed to halftime with the Devils on top, 10-7. On Swain's next possession, Coach Neil Blankenship and the Maroon Devils took a big gamble. Facing a 4th and 5 from their own 43-yard line, Damian Lossy, who is back to punt, faked the punt and found sophomore Donovan Grunwald open for a 15-yard gain that would keep the drive alive. The Maroon Devils would cover 62 yards on 10 plays. Damian Lossy scored on a 24-yard scamper, which put the Devils back on top. Lanning drilled the extra point to make the Swain lead 17-14. With 6 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, the Mustangs drove 65 yards on 7 plays to retake the lead. Smoky Mountain would utilize Dustin Stevens on 6 of the 7 plays. It would be Stevens who found the end zone from 8 yards out, giving the Mustangs a 21-17 lead with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in the game. On their next possession, the Devils faced a 1st and 18 to go from their own 24-yard line. Damian Lossy hit an open Connor Hyatt in stride near midfield. Hyatt did the rest as he outraced the Mustang defense for the go-ahead touchdown. Following Lanning's extra point, the Maroon Devils had the lead again at 24-21. On the Mustangs' first play from scrimmage, Smoky Mountain would fumble. Connor Hyatt recovered the ball just before it would go out of bounds, giving Swain the ball back on the Mustang 49-yard line. The Maroon Devils gained a crucial first down and successfully ran out the clock for the win. On offense, the Maroon Devils outgained the Mustangs 401 yards to 280 yards. On the ground, Bryce Sane racked up another 100-yard rushing game, finishing with 122 on 17 carries. Damian Lossy broke 100 yards as well, finishing with 103 on 15 carries. Lossy was also efficient through the air, completing 6 of 13 passes for 168 yards, a career high. Connor Hyatt also notched a career high with 2 receptions and 86 yards. Donovan Gronwald had 3 catches for 33 yards. On defense, Jacob Langston finished with 13 tackles. Cody Long had 10, while Lucas Brown and Ian Brooks finished with 7 each to provide a solid defensive game against a very dangerous Mustang offense. Through solid football on both sides of the ball, the Maroon Devils moved to 2-0 with a 24-21 victory over the Smoky Mountain Mustangs.
Fans, welcome back. Outstanding job by Taylor Holt with those highlights from the Maroon Devils' 24-21 win over the Smoky Mountain Mustangs last week. Fans, stay tuned. We'll come back after we take this 2-minute timeout with more football right here on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Center for Disease Control sent out an alert this week. It stated that 215 students in 26 different states have come down with severe pulmonary diseases because of their use of e-cigarettes. They come in all shapes and sizes. They might look like a lighter. They might look like a pen. Or they might look like a flash drive. It just depends. Here's the concern. We really don't know how much damage e-cigarettes can do, but we do know they contain nicotine very often. And nicotine and the adolescent brain don't go together very well. So please, help me watch, and let's ask our youth, what are you smoking, and do you know what it'll do to you? Let's cut down the use of e-cigarettes, just like we have the use of cigarettes, tobacco cigarettes, in the past 20 years. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping me take care of the youth of Swain County, and God bless you.
Fans, welcome back to Enka High School. Gary Ayers along with Toby Burrell here on a Friday night. And Toby, as you know from the past week, we were watching some of the highlights there with Taylor Holt, and a job well done by Taylor. And, of course, Joe to put all the technical plays together from a video standpoint. But the Maroon Devils, according to WLOS, had the play of the week in their 5 top plays this week, with a big pass, of course, from Damian as they called it, and I got to give Stan and those guys a little grief, Losiah, but our Damian Lossy hit Connor Hyatt with a great big touchdown pass for 76 yards, and that was a big play.
It was a huge play in that ball game, and it deserved play of the game, realistically.
Yeah.
It was a big play in terms of pulling that ball game, but perhaps an even bigger play for the psyche of the Maroon Devils in terms of being able to respond punch for punch with Smoky Mountain.
And, our Maroon Devils, of course, have been trying to improve the passing game. I know we've basically been a run-oriented football team, but a big pass play last week to Gage Jones, and, of course, the big one to Connor Hyatt, which was huge. So that really has to loosen up the defense when they can't put 7 or 8 guys up in the box and just stop the run all night long when you got these options outside.
Well, when you see that on tape, it makes you plan a little differently for how you're going to defend the Maroon Devils, so that's a good thing in terms of that, and that's one of the reasons Veer teams throw so many deep balls is to try to loosen things up inside.
And talking about the Veer, of course, our running game has been outstanding this year as always. Damian Lossy has had a really good season running the ball. 34 carries, 137 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. Of course, Bryce Sane has been very good, even better than last year, I think. 30 carries, 237 yards, a couple of touchdowns as well. Ian Brooks has done a good job carrying the football. We've seen some good carries from Colby Taylor. Now, one guy we're going to be without tonight, and that's one of our really good defensive players, Thomas Allen, who wears number 44, one of our seniors, has really played well, I think, this year, Toby. He's been in on a lot of tackles, and Thomas not going to be able to play tonight, but we hope he'll be back real soon.
He should be back next week. It wasn't anything serious or major, and we should look for him to be back next week against Franklin. Then, of course, you get the week off after that.
So that is nice. Franklin coming up next Friday night on the road. We want to thank our friends, of course, at WBHN Radio, 94.1 FM and 1590 AM for being on the broadcast, as always, tonight for our Maroon Devils. And talking about our Maroon Devils, let's check in with our head coach, Neil Blankenship, who had a chance to talk Maroon Devil football with Taylor Holt. Take it away, guys.
This is Taylor Holt with the Maroon Devils Network. I'm here with head football coach Neil Blankenship. So, Coach, that was quite a game last Friday. How do you feel about the team's performance against the Mustangs?
Well, I was very proud of our team last week. They played really hard, and they played as a team, and they answered a lot of questions about themselves that we've been challenging them throughout this season from last season that we seemed to never put together. Was one, could we get off to a fast start, which we got off to a great start against them, and two, could they bounce back after somebody came back and scored on them, and how would they would handle adversity? And I thought they did those things well. So as far as the way we played, I was pleased with that. I was pleased with the way we prepared all week. Our kids, the kids who give the mock-ups, did a great job of giving us mock-up to get us ready. So it was definitely a great team win for us, and we're very excited about that. But we're also ready to move on and get ready for this week.
So our Devils seemed to dominate the game for the first quarter and a half, especially in defense. We were stopping most of Smokey's big weapons until they started using Dustin Stevens as their ball carrier. How did you adjust to the Mustangs?
Well, they started putting him at quarterback, and that changed a few things. They hadn't done that until this week, so it took us a little bit of time to adjust to that. But our kids did a good job of recognizing where he was at, and when they figured out where he's at, that helped a lot. A lot of that happened with the fact of that we had some kids that were out because of fatigue, and we ended up having to move some people around, so we had to make some adjustments there. But, our kids, they played extremely well the first half, total offensively and defensively. We felt like offensively we left some points out there that we should have had. We felt like we should at least had 17 to maybe even 24 points the first half. And defensively, we were disappointed and give up the score because that was a busted coverage, and we don't want to do that. But we're real pleased the way our kids had played the first half.
I think it was late in the third quarter when Smokey was on top 14-10, and we were faced with a 4th and 5 on our own 43-yard line. That's when Damian Lossy faked a punt and connected with Donovan Gromwald for a 15-yard gain and a crucial first down. Can you tell us about your thought process and deciding to go for the fake? How important was the first down for the winning?
Well, I saw the fake was there after our first punt. I thought we could have faked it then. We'd put in a new punt formation. They weren't quite ready for it, and then when they adjusted, it was still there. So when I saw that we had the ball where we had and gave us a chance to get an extra possession on offense, that's what you're doing after a fourth down, is doing that. We'd worked on it in a week, and it was there, and the kids recognized that. They ran it well to perfection, and we got a first down. That's huge. It gives you another series of downs. It changes field position when you get a fake. Even if you didn't score on that drive, it changes the field position. So that's even better. So we were real pleased the way kids capitalized on that, and we'll continue to work on those things.
So after we scored to take back the lead 24-21, our defense forced a fumble and recovered the ball, which ultimately led to us running out the clock and securing the win. So what did you tell the team before we kicked it to Mustangs?
Well, we talked to him first about not kicking it to number 14. That was a big thing all week because we weren't going to kick to him, so we made sure we weren't going to do that. And then we told him, you get one more stop and we win this game. So we had to get it. We needed to get a stop, get a 3 and out, and do that. And our kids did a great job. They had played that play pretty good, and then they ended up stripping a kid and causing a turnover, which those are things we work on when you get a chance to get the ball and pull the ball. And then Connor Hyatt did a great job of coming up and recovering the ball and getting the ball and securing it there. So, it was a big stop for us, and it was a great job on, I can't remember if Jake Langston or Ian Brooks or who pulled the ball out, which one, but they caused a fumble, and then Connor Hyatt recovering. That was big, and then the drive after that, getting the first downs, was even bigger because they didn't get the ball back. So, I think those two drives were huge to get the ball back from them on the turnover, and then to take the drive and get a first down so we didn't have to give the ball back to them was even bigger.
Congratulations on a great win. And this week we are headed to Enka for another non-conference game. What can you tell us about them, and what will be key points in winning the game?
Well, Enka has a very athletic team. They got 2 running backs that are very athletic that will, if the play's not there, bounce it outside. Their touchdown against Pisgah wasn't designed where it was going, and they bounced it outside. And in their film against Rosman, they have a score where it's supposed to be going here, and they end up bouncing it outside too. So we're going to keep their running backs contained up. They run the spread offense. They like to throw the ball short and underneath and stuff, and then they'll try to big play with some double moves on the outside. So defensively, we're going to stop the big plays, and we're going to tackle well in space because they just have some good athletes. And up front, it's going to start up front. Our O-line's got to dominate up front, and our D-line has to dominate up front so that we'll have people that can take care of the outside. And so, if we'll take care of the up front part and O-line, and our offense, I think, can move the football, and us take care of the ball and win the turnover battle, which we've been able to do the last 2 games, we have to continue to do that. And I think we'll have some great success there with that. But Enka's got a good football team. We're going there. We haven't been there in a few years. So it's going to be different. They're going to play hard. Their coach is going to get them to play hard. They're going to play with a lot of energy. Anytime a team gets to go against a Swain County team, they're going to come to play because they want to be able to say that they beat Swain. So we've told our kids all week that they've got to get ready to play.
Thank you, Coach, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
Be sure to catch all of the action live and in person or on the Maroon Devils Network. Back to you, Gary.
Thanks a lot, Taylor. Job well done. I tell you, Taylor, as always, talking about that a little bit, Toby, and you've been involved in this as well as Taylor's dad, Joe. We have had so many good students who have been a part of the Maroon Devils Network over the years.
Well, I'll tell you, Gary, really and truly, the Maroon Devils Network is something that all of Swain County and Swain County athletics should be very proud of. There's nothing like it anywhere else that I've seen. Very few programs rival it, and being able to bring this action to their fans who may or may not be able to get to the game. We've got a decent crowd here tonight, but I know there are people back in Swain County and all across the U.S., maybe even overseas, who follow Maroon Devil football, and this is their opportunity to do that. Not to mention the folks who can't get out anymore to be able to be a part of it and be here. They still get to be involved. And I tell you what, you and Rod give us the best high school duo of announcers in the state by far, in my opinion. And hats off to y'all. Joe's the best in the business at what he does. So really and truly, it's just a fantastic production that we're able to put on. I, for one, am extremely proud of it.
Well, I appreciate what you're saying, Toby. And of course, you're a big part of this as well. I mean, you're there doing basketball night in and night out, and that takes a lot of work, doing volleyball. And, of course, we're involved with softball and baseball, and then there's soccer. So there's a lot to this, isn't there? There are a lot of people who put this together.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving pieces to it, and we don't always get it right, but we sure try, and we try to do what's right for our kids and put them out there in the public eye. And think over the years we've done a pretty good job of it.
Hey, that's it. And that's one wonderful thing about being able to see the video. I know I make mistakes every Friday night and every Saturday, so the people can see what's going on. So if I mess up, they can see what really happens.
Yeah, they can correct us back in their home.
So,
and Gary, it's worth saying that now that we mentioned that, some protocol that we put in this year is that all of our coaches over the years that we've covered in every sport have been very concerned about opponents being able to watch them later in the week and get a free look at them. And so what we've started doing this year, and I know some of our folks have been a little upset with us about it, is whenever this game's over, we take it down. And it won't be visible again until the end of the year. We'll put everything back up at the end of the year so you can enjoy it. But we used to leave it up until the next week, and we're not doing that anymore. Just because we're trying to cooperate with our coaching staff and help them out and do that. And we do sell a box set of Blu-rays and DVDs, one or the other, at the end of the year. If anybody wants the complete set, we're more than happy to do that for them. And those proceeds go back to athletics. So if they want to help the athletic program out, that's a great way to do it.
Oh, no doubt about that. We're just about ready for kickoff here tonight at Enka High School over here, of course, in the western part of Buncombe County. Beautiful stadium, beautiful background with the mountains back there, and just a great night for football. And now, Toby, I think the sun has kind of gone down.
I think it's out of the picture.
I don't think it's going to be a problem for either team, no matter which way they're going. But, well, you're right. When that sun was out earlier, it was a problem.
That was a problem. I believe the Maroon Devils are set to kick it off first, so their defense will go on the field to open things up against the Enka Jets offense, and we'll get our first look at them and see what we got to get underway here. We'll try to keep you updated. I won't be able to give you the color that Coach White so ably brings in his knowledge of the game, but I'll keep you updated on scores. How's that? I can do that.
Outstanding.
I can read my phone.
And, and I told Coach White this last week, and I truly meant it. Rod White and the other guy that I think has a brilliant defensive mind, Fred Goldsmith, those two guys probably know more about defensive football than any two guys I've ever been around.
Yeah, I would agree with that wholeheartedly. And, the thing that we found out in broadcasting is that Cody is pretty sharp, too.
Oh, boy, is he ever.
He's got his act together when it comes to football, and a very, very good announcer. We were fortunate to get him a couple of times. And, again, when we get those quality folks who can bring something to the game, and it's just nothing but a bonus here.
Oh, it really is. It really adds to it, and we're blessed with a lot of people. Aiden Pond, number 11, ready to kick it off from the 40-yard line, and the Enka Jets ready to go as we have Preston Leslie back deep. He's right in the middle of the three-man deep formation here for the Jets. They're in their dark blue. This kick is going to be angled toward the sideline, and it's going to be caught at the 9. Back out to the 15, to the 20, to the 25-yard line, and a nice return over there, and a good open field tackle for the Maroon Devils as Jake Langston over there on the tackle as he brings down Shannon Gacasta and one of their leading running backs, Toby, we're going to be keeping an eye on all night tonight. He wears number 3, actually, Dallas Phillips. 34 carries, 249 yards, and a couple of touchdowns. So he is obviously very able with the football.
Well, good field position for the Jets to start their opening drive there on the 27 of the Maroon Devils. So see what they can do. 7, Logan Sanders is the quarterback. He's a junior.
And he's a big kid, 6'2", got a good view of the field. And he's going to be opening up here in the pistol. Got a back behind him, and he hands off, and they run right up the A-gap, right across the 25 to about the 28-yard line where the Maroon Devils meet him head on. And there in the bottom of that pile, looks like for the defense, is going to be Colby Kirkland. And we have a lot of guys. A lot of those guys up front play both ways. As you know, Toby, we have 9 or 10 guys who play on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, the only starter originally was Damian Lossey. And Donovan Grunwald was in for him, but now it's Lucas Brown on this side of the field.
And Lucas doing a great job wearing number 3. He's one of those seniors this time. And they come running around over there on Lucas's territory. Got a penalty flag down, and that could be a holding call as Lucas Brown comes over there to help out on the tackle. Also over there, it looks like Gage Jones, our safety man over there, number 16, coming up to help out, along with 51, Chase Hughes.
Well, that was holding on the Jets, so that's going to bring back a good run that they had. They were up above the 35 there, inching towards first down territory. And this looks, Gary, like it's going to go from the 30. So that'll put it back to the 20 for their second down play here.
Wow, so they're going to have to back up here, as you mentioned, to the 20-yard line, just inside the 20 at the 19. 1 minute gone here in the first quarter in this non-conference matchup. The Enka Jets, as we mentioned, part of the WMAC Conference, the Western Mountain Athletic Conference, along with most of the Buncombe County teams over here. And Tuscola is a part of that WMAC. Of course, our Maroon Devils out of the always tough Smoky Mountain Conference. Here comes one of their outstanding running backs around the right side. That's Dallas Phillips, 5'7", 165-pound, only a sophomore, but very quick, very elusive. He reminds me a little bit, Toby, of Dustin Stevens that we saw last week for Smoky Mountain, which was an outstanding player.
Well, he is a very good player. If he's anything like Dustin, then the Enka's got themselves a gem going forward to this, especially as a sophomore, being able to do those things. And he got no gain on that play, so it's going to set the Jets up in bad territory here, 3rd and 16.
It's going to be Darian Lunsford and number 2 Shannon over there, winding up wide to the left side as, again, the quarterback is going to be back in the gun. Takes his time, fires, and overshoots his man over there. Pass intended, but a little bit tall over there for Darian Lunsford. But good coverage again back there by our safety man, Gage Jones. Again, a 5'11", 140-pound sophomore. Starting back there and has been doing a good job. Now on 4th down and 16, Jets are going to be punting, and Bryce Sane back. And so far, from what we've seen early in the season, Toby, a lot of folks punting it away from Bryce Sane.
Yeah, and for good reason. He is a definite weapon for the Maroon Devils. He catches that one met right away. But sometimes the ability to be able to catch that and absorb that hit is as important as being able to run with it. He's going to give the Maroon Devils good field position. We got a flag down, so we'll wait and see what that flag is.
Yeah, the tackle over there by Jared Smith for the Enka Jets, a junior, but a penalty flag is down on the field. Normally, it's on the return team for some kind of holding situation, but let's see what the call is. As the man with the white hat, the referee will turn and give us a signal here. And so it's going to be unsportsmanlike conduct against the Maroon Devils, which is kind of unusual this early in the game, especially on a punt.
And Neil Blankenship wants an explanation immediately, and I can tell you at home that what he's asking for is who was it and what did they do.
Yep. And he won't be happy.
No, he will not be happy. He is not an excuse maker. He is seeking that person out right now to find them. There he goes.
He is livid on the sideline, and he's coming out of the game, unfortunately, and he's going to be getting an earful over there from Coach Blankenship as he goes to the bench, and that's kind of tough when a player has to come out and he knows he's going to be getting an earful on the sideline.
1st and 10, though, from Maroon Devils from their own 30 now after the penalty.
Jets with a 4-man front on defense. Bryce Sane over the right side pops it out across the 40-yard line, and with the penalty gets it back out across the 40 up near where the original line of scrimmage was on his punt return.
Well, nice crease over there for Bryce. That time that was straight up outside stretch play is the vogue name for it in the NFL and in college football, but it was just right off the tackle's hip there and straight. There was no option to it. Bryce took it right through that big hole and big gain on the play.
Bryce has had a good season. Again, only a junior, 5'7", 170-pounder coming into this game tonight, 230-some yards and a couple of touchdowns. He tries to turn the corner and does out across the 45, and he's grabbed by the shoulder pads and knocked out of bounds at the 48-yard line. But again, a very nice pickup of about 6, almost 7 yards.
A lot of that was Bryce.
Yeah.
There wasn't a whole lot of hole there. There's a whole lot of blue shirts, and he was able to get on the outside of that perimeter with his quickness and be able to pick up 6 yards out of what looked like nothing when the play started over there. But it was basically the same play, other side. And this time, the Maroon Devils look like they're going back to the traditional veer set with Brooks and Sane in the backfield.
Yep, split backs behind Damian Lossy as he turns and hands off to the first man through, right up the A-gap, right between the center and the guard. And it's going to be very close to a first down at the 48-yard line in Enka Jet territory as we see the big blue jet out there at midfield through the camera lens of one Joe Holt. As he zooms back in, you can see the entire jet and both teams out there. It's going to bring up 1st and 10 Maroon Devils.
That was Brooks on the dive play, just a standard veer staple there with just a straight fullback dive.
That's it, just right up the A-gap this time. Damian with the option, tosses back. The ball is loose. Enka had a shot at it, but now let's see who finally picks it up. I think the Jets tried to pick it up. Did they hang on to it? I think they did, and they did.
That's number 35 with that recovery.
Carson Turner, and again, the pitch from the quarterback to the running back just never did make connection.
And that's another staple of the veer. And that's one of the things that happens sometimes is you leave that thing on the carpet a little bit. And that one bit the Maroon Devils there, and now their defense will have to come up big for them with another stop here.
Oh, no question. And those turnovers are big, especially early in the game when you're trying to set the tone and trying to get momentum on your side. And the Maroon Devils had a good momentum offensively. But now we got to get back on defense. 1st and 10, just across midfield for the Jets. This time they pop it outside again for a short gain. Again, that's going to be Dallas Phillips, their lead running back, only a sophomore, as we mentioned. But you look at this Enka Jet roster, Toby, a lot of kids out here playing high school football for Jeff Rady. So a lot of guys interested in the program, and that's always a good sign.
Well, that play, Gary, went straight into the teeth of the Maroon Devil defense with Jake Langston and Big Nick Millsaps over there at defensive tackle, and there was just no room to go anywhere. So no gain on that play as well.
I tell you, when you're Nick Millsaps big at 6'7", 295 pounds, that is big. And there's this time around the other way, a little misdirection, and the Jets carry down to the 45, and down there on the stop for the Maroon Devil defense. Looks like as they force him out of bounds, helping out down there is Colby Taylor, among others.
And Colby getting some time there in that outside linebacker position and strong safety position. He did a good job coming up and limiting that to a 5-yard gain.
And again, a good misdirection, kind of got the defense going one way, and they came back to the right-hand side. Now 3rd down, Jets need 5, 7:45 to play here on a Friday night at Enka. And they cut back inside on the handoff, and there again is Nick Millsaps, among others, to stand him up. And when Nick wraps those big grizzly bear arms around you, you're not going to go very far, as I mentioned, when you're 6'7" and 295.
Well, Ian Brooks was on the outside, and the back looked like he wanted to pop outside. And Brooks turned him back inside, and then Big Nick finished him off. And we're going to have 4th down here, and it looks like the Jets are going to punt it again and try to pin the Maroon Devils back deep.
Bryce Sane back inside the 20-yard line. And again, a great night for high school football. Very dry, high punt, not real deep, end over end. It's going to take a sideway, actually almost a backwards bounce. Maroon Devil bounce out of bounds at the 31-yard line. No return. And that's where we'll have it 1st and 10 with 7 minutes to play here in the first quarter. And Toby, coming up next week, we have JV football on Thursday. The JVs are going to be at Cherokee. Then on Friday, Maroon Devil varsity team on the road as well over at Franklin to keep that great rivalry going.
The Panther Pit.
And it is it might be the hardest place that we played to win.
Yeah, it's a tough place. There's no doubt about it. We've not done very well over there in the last few years.
It's a hard place for anybody to go in and get a win. Bryce Sane pops it outside for the Devil offense. One man to beat, turns the corner, and he's going to be caught from behind over there at the 50-yard line. So again, a 1st down as Bryce Sane. We know how quick he is, and when he can get a little room over there, it's big yards.
That was a good-sized crease on that right side. Again, they found something over there that's outside of the normal offense. That, again, was not an option play. That was just a straight stretch. Find the seam and go, Bryce, and he did for a big gain. The Maroon Devils near midfield again.
And again, the offensive line off to a good start. We saw that on the last series before we turned the ball over. We saw it all night last Friday against a very good Smoky Mountain team, by the way. Smoky Mountain's going to, I think if they get their situation at quarterback straightened out, they're going to win a lot of games. This time, right up the gut out to the 48-yard line for another about a 4-yard pickup as our Maroon Devils stay on the ground. Damian Lossy with one of his first carries tonight.
Yeah, it was a big game by Damian off the read. He just took the ball back from Bryce and went straight up the middle, which is the read option. And he was met in there pretty toughly by Garrett Pugh, a 5'10", 185 senior. He put a stick on Damian there. Damian's a big boy. He takes a lot of punishment. He did last week and keeps coming back for more.
He does. He's a tough kid. This time it's going to be Bryce to the right side. Breaks into the secondary, and he has one man to beat, but they caught him from behind. Looks like Jackson Smith coming in over there, a senior, finally dragging him down from behind. But again, Bryce has really been getting into the secondary quickly.
Yeah, he's eating up yardage in huge chunks right now. That, again, another 10-yard-plus gain for him. And, you know, really and truly, Gary, this the first 2 games of the season, 2 games consecutively with 100 yards, and you didn't mention him a lot. I mean, he wasn't the focal point of the offense or anything of that nature. He was very balanced, but when he got his touches, he made the most of them.
He really has been such a plus. He had a great year last year, obviously, and has picked right up. Here's Damian Lossy again taking a hit. As you mentioned, Toby, he got hit and spun around and still picked up about 2 or 3 more after he got hit at the 20-yard line. It spun him around.
That was very reminiscent of the touchdown run against Smokey where they thought they had him corralled, and he kind of spun out of that, and there's nobody left, and he just takes off for the end zone. But a very reminiscent play. Got kind of clogged up there with the linebackers and spun away from them and made something positive happen. Now back to the traditional veer look. Let's see how we do out of that.
I tell you, Damian is, again, deceptively quick. His feet very, very quick. This time it's going to be again, right up the gut, right down to about the 10-yard line. Should be another Maroon Devil first down on the ground as Damian Lossy and company just keep running it. Basically nothing fancy, just right up that A-gap between center and guard.
That time it was the dive play, and he took it back and used Bryce Sane as a blocker, just followed him into that hole and got a big gain out of it.
Doing a good job running the offense as he has been for many, many games. Again, our quarterback, Damian Lossy, along with Bryce Sane, 2 juniors. We're so fortunate. They got a big year this year and a big year next year coming up as well. Again, the split backs for Lossy turns it hands off. This time it's Bryce on the right side as he keeps fighting to about the 6, maybe the 7-yard line. On first down and goal, it's going to bring up second down and goal from the 6-yard line.
I believe that was Brooks in on that carry with a misdirection. They did a little fake to Sane and then gave it to Ian going back the other way.
And Ian is a physical runner.
He's a very physical runner, the traditional fullback, if you will, of that veer offense that the Maroon Devils run so well.
Ian is, again, 5'9", 180, a senior. This time he's going to be lining up out of the backfield as Lossy hands off to Bryce, and he's got blockers out in front of him, turns the corner, and he's down near.
Did he hit the cone?
The pylon. Very close.
No.
Not quite. About the 1 yard line.
I won't give it to him. It looked like, it's a good thing we don't have replay. It looked like he reached out and got a knock on that cone for the score, but we're going to be, 4th and 1 right here?
Yep, 4th and 1. So now check that 3rd and 1. 3rd down and 1. 4 minutes to play here in the first quarter as both teams have been pretty much on the ground all night tonight, and right now it's working for the Maroon Devils, controlling that line of scrimmage, and that's what it's all about. This time it's going to be Bryce and Ian in the backfield behind Damian Lossy, and it's going to be Ian getting the handoff, and he should be in the end zone. Do we have a signal from the official?
There it is.
There it is. Touchdown Maroon Devils as the signal came in late, but again, Ian Brooks, when you need a yard, he is, again, very physical.
But that time he just had to go over top of the pile. The Jets kind of got underneath the line there and pile things up. And he was able to get the ball over top of that for the touchdown. And now Lanning will attempt the point after. Gavin Lanning had a very strong night last Friday. And there's a snap that gets away.
Gavin just
falls on it, so it's going to remain 6.
Yep. So the PAT didn't work. Got an issue between the snapper and company, so we'll try to work on that. 3:57 to play first quarter. It's a 6-0 Maroon Devil lead. We'll be back in 1 minute here on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Smoky Mountain Conference, one of North Carolina's oldest and most storied athletic conferences, producing champions on and off the playing field for decades. The Smoky Mountain Conference. Tradition lives here.
I'm Taylor Holt with the Maroon Devils Network. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you enjoy our videos, please hit the notification bell down below so you can get a notification every time that we upload a video.
All right, again, welcome back. And by the way, we had a friend check in with us, Joe, as something if we can check on that says audio is having an issue on the live broadcast. We hope we can get that fixed up. We have great friends watching and listening who check in with us from time to time and let us know if anything is on the downside. This time, Maroon Devils on the kickoff, return from the 6-yard line, bringing it back again. It's going to be Yakasana, and he's all the way out across the 35. Outstanding return before Taylor brings him down. This time it's going to be Carson Taylor on the tackle. But again, over there is Shannon Gakasana, number 2, 5'9", 160-pound senior, but he's been involved in a lot of plays early in the game tonight.
A couple of scores of interest if I can get my screen to work right. Murphy's up on the Georgia Force 13-0 in the first quarter. Then we've got nothing. There they are. All right. We'll get to that in the next break.
All right. We'll see what Enka does here on first down as they line up again. The quarterback is back in the gun. Got the running back right behind him here on first down and 10 as he turns, fakes the handoff, throws it out to the left side. It's going to be incomplete as they try to get it out there on a quick wide receiver screen out there, Toby. But what else you got on the scoreboard?
Smoky Mountain has jumped ahead of Cherokee early in the first quarter, 7-0 Mustangs in that one. Robbinsville is at home against Irwin tonight, and they are up 7-0, probably just underway like we are. Tellico Plains is on top of Hayesville 7-0 also in the first quarter. And Rosman, an early lead on Madison, 7-0 also in the first.
So, all right, a lot of Smoky Mountain Conference teams in action tonight. Here come the Jets running to the right side, and they carry out across the 40 to the 42-yard line. And again, that's going to be, looks like Dallas Phillips. And as he gets up off the turf, it's going to be number 47, Big Jake Langston, another senior. And again, we've got a great senior class on this team of Maroon Devils, 14 seniors on this team, Toby. And normally it's the seniors that really set the tone for your football team.
I think they've definitely done that this year, Gary, in terms of what the expectations are for the season and what they're going to do out here on the football field.
And not only football, but as you know, as a softball coach, and works the same in softball, doesn't it?
It absolutely does.
Seniors have so much to say. Pass down the left side, going to be off the fingertips of their intended receiver, Jackson Smith over there. Big target at 6'1". Incomplete, though. It's going to bring up third down now for the Jets and about 7.
They were very lucky that time that we get called for roughing the passer on that play, but they were very lucky the receiver tipped that ball. Connor Hite had stepped in and was angled up to take that one back to the house with an interception. But that roughing the passer is going to keep the Jet drive alive here and put them in Maroon Devil territory.
So that is a big penalty when we ordinarily would have gotten the ball back on fourth down. Now it's going to be first down. Huge penalty all the way down to the Swain County 43-yard line with 3 minutes to play here in the first quarter. So, yeah, Toby, that can be a game-changing situation right there.
Absolutely. It gives you an automatic first down on a play that you're going to have to punt on. And I know that's something that Neil Blankenship and his staff are not going to be very happy about in the film session.
That's one of those things that you got to be aware of. Your defense wants to be aggressive, but not to the point of hurting your team. Around the right side, again, trying to turn the corner and getting a few yards is going to be Dallas Phillips again, their go-to guy. He's going to be stopped at the 38-yard line. Nice pickup now with second down, and they're going to spot it at the 39-yard line. So a 4-yard pickup, 2nd and 6.
Well, he showed good quickness on that outside to be able to pop that thing outside in. Looked like he had a good angle on him and kept a good angle, but that kid's just so fast that he jumped outside and was able to gain a couple of yards out of something that looked like was going to net nothing.
All right, we got good news. Our audio is working great, and we appreciate our friends who are listening and watching. Had a couple of audio issues in the pregame, but again, we appreciate our friends letting us know on Facebook.
And we appreciate you watching.
Yes, indeed.
More than anything, and putting up with us.
Yes, indeed. Our friends watching and listening over in Swain County, Bryson City, and Cherokee.
Good gain that time by the Jets on the ground, so they've got a 3rd and short right here, and I would assume that it's probably 2-down territory right here, Gary.
You said it, 3rd down now, and you know if they don't get it, they're going to line up and go for it again. 3rd down, just outside the 35-yard line. This time 2 backs behind the quarterback, back in the gun. Long snap count, turns and hands off, but he's met in the hole in there. There was the drive by Jake Langston. Langston met him right in the hole, Toby, and there was very little gain on that big 3rd down.
Boy, you're exactly right. He came barreling through there, and Brooks was there with him, and we got an injured Jet on the play, but a good defensive stand by the Maroon Devils, and now it'll be 4th down and a decision time for the Jets.
Jackson Smith, their 6'1", wide receiver out there, 6'1", 175-pound senior. By the way, Jackson is the one that had a 60-yard run against the Pisgah Bears last week. That's really caught Pisgah kind of flat-footed, and a big 60-yard run against the Bears last week. And as we mentioned, that's the big game going on tonight up in Hazelwood, if you will, in Waynesville, as Tuscola is hosting Pisgah. But again, we hope Jackson is going to be okay as they attend to him. And while they work on him, we'll take a break down the line as well. Well, let's see. He may be getting up. Yep, he's going to be getting up. So
that's good to see.
That is good to see. He's limping a little bit. Looks like he got hit maybe in the knee or the calf shin area. A lot of times you get hit in the shins, and it just hurts like crazy. He's limping off, but it looks like he may be okay as he's using his own power and looking good.
Update from Tuscola. It's 0-0 in the second quarter now.
Wow.
With Pisgah and Tuscola.
That's one of those games, kind of like Swain and Murphy, Toby. You can just throw the records out.
Yep.
I know Pisgah has won 6 in a row, but boy, Tuscola they are not just hungry, they're starving for a win.
Absolutely.
As we would be if we had lost 6 straight to Murphy or Robbinsville or Cherokee or anybody else in our league.
So 4th down, and the Jets are going to go for it here.
4th and 3. Quarterback wants to throw, looks to the right, has time, now steps up, throws it down the sideline, and it's going to be
caught.
It's caught. Wow, what a catch down at the 17-yard line. Coming in there again is Shannon, number 2, coming in with a big catch. He made a diving catch underneath the defenders.
And he was bracketed right there. They did a good job. That was Gage Jones and Lucas Brown had him bracketed just as it's taught, and the throw was inside, and he adjusted to it. Lucas and Gage were unable to, and he comes up with a catch. A big play in this game for the Jets right here.
Oh, no doubt. That was a great catch, and as you mentioned, against double coverage. 1st down and 10 now from the 18-yard line. Jets with the football. They run to the left side. Again, it's going to be Dallas Phillips. He's the go-to guy, and was the football looser as he just got a little angle inside.
No, he was fighting for more yardage.
Yeah, he's a fighter as he carries down to the 15 for a 3-yard gain. And again, not the biggest guy on the he's 5'7", but he's a strong 165, and again, very, very quick.
I think he's going to be a kid that's going to be a load in this conference for the next couple of years.
He reminds me a lot of Bryce Sane. They're about the same size physically. They both have that quick feet and the ability to change directions in a hurry. 2 good players. This time, Enka throws out to the right side again. It's going to be caught out there. This time on the tackle again, it's going to be Lucas Brown. And again, they get it over there to Shannon. And again, just a quick hitter, Toby, but it's enough to get a positive gain down to the 10-yard line.
That was just a little stop route. He went out to the 10-yard line and just stopped and showed the quarterback his numbers. And the quarterback was able to hit him. Lucas, of course, is backing with him and has to stop and come back, and he can't do it as fast as the receiver.
All right, the first quarter coming to an end here at Enka High School. The Jets knocking on the door in the red zone. We'll come back and see what happens in the second quarter as it's Swain 6, Enka 0. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Maroon Devils Network.
I'm going to tell you a secret to being successful as a student and as a parent. Have your sons or daughters come to school. Chronic absenteeism is any time that a student misses more than 17 days in the school year. We have anywhere from 25 to 33% of our students at the various schools across the county who are missing 17 days or more. That's a dangerous thing because you can't learn if you're not in class. And I happen to know from some numbers that I have on my desk that if an 8th grader misses 15 days or more, they have a 62% chance of not graduating from high school. And that means if they don't graduate from high school, that they are going to have a $500,000 negative impact on Swain County. Help me take care of your sons and daughters in Swain County. Have them come to school on a regular basis, and thank you.
Fans, welcome back as we get the second quarter underway here on a Friday night from Enka High School. The Jets knocking on the door here with a third down. They need just a couple of yards here at the 10-yard line to keep the drive alive, or they're 10 yards away from the end zone. As again, the quarterback lines up back in the gun, hands off, and there's contact right at the line of scrimmage again with Dallas Phillips. And the defensive front leading the charge again, Jake Langston, among others for the Maroon Devils, along with Nick Millsaps in there.
He's going to be really close to a first down, but I think just a hair short based upon where the stick is on the other side. So they got another decision on fourth down here, and they're going for it.
Fourth down and a yard, Toby. You're right. They needed to get to the 8-yard line. They got to the 9, so they're 1 yard shy. This time they're going to have two backs behind the quarterback who's under center. A new look here for the Jets. They try to do the quarterback sneak, and I don't know if he got it because he lined up under center, took the snap, went left, tried to plunge ahead, and it's close.
Well, they're going to spot where the ball was rather than where his knee was, so he's got it. Should be, well, they're going to measure it.
It's really close.
The Maroon Devils are very confident. They're pointing their direction. But that's kind of what they're supposed to do, I think.
Yeah, that's it. They're trying to influence the referees.
Maybe the chains will get a little longer if I signal it that way.
Oh, boy. And, you know, yeah, football's like that. And, you know, in baseball and softball, as you know, is like that. When there's a close call at a base, everybody's like, safe. No, out. Whatever the situation is.
He got it by the stripe of the football.
Wow, that
close. The front stripe of the football was over the nose.
That was close. But that's all you got to have to get the first down. And now the Jets are looking at first and goal from the 8-yard line. Just underway in the second quarter, 11:19 to play and counting. It's 6-0, Maroon Devils on top.
It's a potential big series here for the Jets, and you know it's kind of unfolding to be a weird ball game, and the Maroon Devils have moved and done whatever they wanted to do, but could be behind before this is over.
Oh, here he comes outside. Got a penalty flag.
That's a block in the back.
Yeah, and again, there's the quickness of Dallas Phillips, but this is going to come back on either a block of the back or a holding call as he turned that corner. Out comes the flag, and 9 times probably. 95 times out of 100 when that flag is called, it's going to be against the offense.
Yeah, we'll see what they're going to do.
Yep. Yeah, there's a block at the back. And that's going to bring the touchdown back. And, boy, I'll tell you, Dallas Phillips, who scored, is really unhappy with that. And you can understand. You put the work in, you get the job done, and one guy is not doing his job, and that brings it all the way back to the 18-yard line.
Yeah, it's like a hold. So it goes from the 8 where it happened to the 18. And that's a big penalty for the Jets right there and may change the whole complexion of this football game before it's over with.
Oh, no doubt. We saw that penalty against the Maroon Devils that allowed Enka to keep the football on a drive. And now we're seeing the same thing the other way. The Jets, with a chance to tie the game, now all of a sudden back at the 18. Again, twin backs behind the quarterback. And that's Logan Sanders, 6'2", junior for the Jets. Straight drop, looks right, throws right, pass intercepted. We saw that one coming all the way down the left sideline as we are trying to get the
Connor Hyatt.
That's Connor Hyatt, and Connor is in a foot race, and he is going to be caught by number 3, Dallas Phillips, the running back, down inside the 5-yard line. But what a return by Connor Hyatt, who had a big play last week as well.
He caught that on the 10 of Enka, and then now we're going to have the ball on the 5 or 4 down here of Enka.
And you can see that coming, Toby, as Connor Hyatt read that all the way. As he saw that coming when the receiver cut to the outside, the ball was in the air. Connor read that perfectly with his eyes and stepped right in front.
Well, you know, I told you earlier he had another one of those, and the receiver in front tipped it. He was playing the receiver in the back. They were both running a similar pattern like that, and he had that one cut off, and just a tip kept him from getting it.
Connor Hyatt, again, a big play. He's a smart player. Going straight ahead, it's going to be Damian Lossy. Touchdown, Maroon Devils. Damian just followed that offensive line, and they just knocked the defense off the ball on that play. Just straight ahead power football.
What a big turn of events right there, Gary, from going where Enka's in the end zone, and then a penalty moves them back to the 18, and then now all of a sudden they're down 12, and it looks like Lanning will be back out to attempt the point after again to try to make this a 13. point lead for the Maroon Devils.
And Connor Hyde is going to be on the hole. Last time had a very high snap. This time the snap is good. The kick is up. It hits the left upright, and it bounces back. Unfortunately, it didn't bounce inside the crossbar, and it's going to be no good on the PAT. So just a tough break there as it hit the left upright and bounced backwards. But again, Connor Hyatt, the man who set up the touchdown run by Damian Lossy as the Devils lead 12-zip. In the second quarter, we'll be back in 1 minute here on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Smoky Mountain Conference, one of North Carolina's oldest and most storied athletic conferences, producing champions on and off the playing field for decades. The Smoky Mountain Conference. Tradition lives here.
Fans, welcome back. 10:37 to play as we're getting ready to kick it back to the Jets. Aiden Pond will kick it off from the 40-yard line. Again, Connor Hyatt, an outstanding interception, almost a pick six, bringing it all the way back. And one play later, Damian Lossy into the goal line. As the Devils lead 12-zip, here comes Aiden with a kick. It's going to be short down the middle of the field, taken out the 30. They're going to return and actually hit a knee at the 35-yard line. On the return over there for the Jets is Eli Vassie.
Gary, we've got some scores to update our fans on if they're following along with us at home. Rosman is up on Madison now 10-0. That is still in the first quarter. In the second quarter, Tellico Plains now leads Hayesville 14-6. And in the second quarter, Smoky Mountain still on top of Cherokee 7-0. Still in the first, Robbinsville 14, Irwin 7.
I'll tell you, it's turning out to be another big, tough season of football in the Smoky Mountain Conference between our Maroon Devils, the Robbinsville Black Knights, the Murphy Bulldogs, and all the rest of the gang that make up the Smoky Mountain Conference. As you heard from Toby Zed there, it's a great conference, and every year it's a battle.
It is a battle.
And that's putting it mildly. First down and 10, Maroon Devils are checked at the Enka Jets again. Back on offense, get my offense and defense. We weren't on offense but one play, so already we're back on defense here. And Toby, the defense has been on the field quite a bit here in the first half.
Yeah, they've done a good job, though. That time Nick Millsap stepped through that hole and met Phillips for no gain, actually a loss of 1.5, to open things up on first down.
I tell you, I hope Nick Millsaps gets a chance to play at the next level. He has the size at 6'7", 295. If he wants to play at the next level, I hope he really gets that opportunity. He has the tools. Second down now. They swing it out again to the left side. It's going to be caught this time down the left sideline. Got a penalty flag. It's out there to Jackson Smith again, number 10. But again, a penalty flag on the sideline. And
that's got to be on the receiver.
Yeah, the Jets are not happy as the coach on the sideline is one of the coaches is giving somebody else an earful over there on the sideline. There's something wrong.
The split receiver came down and was engaged in a block when the ball was thrown, but if it's behind the line of scrimmage, that's legal. They're going to call it a hold, and it's going to go back on the Jets. The Jets had a first down.
Yes.
And this will go from the 40, it looks like, where the flag went down. So it'll be on the 30.
Well, they've had some really expensive penalties. One of those, of course, the one that's nullified the touchdown by Dallas Phillips. And then one play later, the Maroon Devils return it down the field. Holding call.
Beautiful red sunset over to our right.
Wow, that is amazing. If Joe Holt can get a picture of that pink sky over there.
Mountain football, it's best, folks.
I tell you. We've got blue and maroon down on the field. Enka in their dark blue, our Maroon Devils in solid white. Swing pass out on the right side. This time it's going to be out there to number 10 again, Jackson Smith, and he runs it back to the original line of scrimmage out near the 38-yard line for the Jets. And again, they like to open it up, not afraid to throw it out there.
And that was Charlie Lambert running that down from his linebacking position inside on that outside route. It was just a look in.
Charlie has had a good year defensively and offensively as well. Playing both ways, of course. This time the Jets bring 3 wide, 1 to the right, 2 out to the left side. It's going to be Smith in the slot over here on the left side. He's been a favorite target of the quarterback here tonight. And this time they run it right up the gut, though, out to the 40-yard line. For a short gain again, it's going to be Dallas Phillips.
That was Kirkland and Lambert on that play. And it's going to be a punting down for the Jets here. Another good stand by the Maroon Devil defense.
Oh, no doubt. And, Toby, we were talking about size with Nick Millsaps. And Colby Kirkland's a big fella, too. 6'4", 285 senior. And he has had a good senior season. Playing great on both sides of the ball. Boy, the Maroon Devils, a big rush, and the ball is fumbled by the punter, and he has to fall on it back at the 29. It's Maroon Devils football right there, regardless of who is on the football. So it's, again, a tough break, as the punter just never couldn't get the handle, if you will, on the football back there. And that's Eli Hutchins. And again, another tough break for the Jets. They've just had some really tough breaks in this, what really is probably a closer game than the scoreboard says.
Yeah, absolutely. The Maroon Devil offense takes over here in excellent field position with 8:32 remaining in the second.
So now 12-0 lead by the Maroon Devils in the second quarter. Damian Lossy in the I formation this time. 2 wide. He hands off to the deep man, and Bryce Sane, boy, he's met right at the line of scrimmage this time. The Jets weren't fooled at all. Penalty flag comes flying in, but they had the A-gap plugged on both sides. And a holding call.
Yep, holding on the Maroon Devils.
Trying to keep those guys out of the backfield.
Yeah, that had all the appearances of a jailbreak coming through on that one.
It did. And Toby, as you know, and as football fans know, when they have more hats than you do coming after the running back, it's sometimes it's just a numbers game.
It is.
And you can't, if they have too many people coming, and you just can't block them all.
1st and 20 for our Maroon Devils now.
Boy, it moves the ball back to the 40-yard line here. Again, a beautiful night here. It's a warm September night. Hope everybody had a great Labor Day. And now into September, we hope the weather is going to start cooling down just a little bit anyway. As here comes Bryce Sane out to the left side, got a blocker in front of him. He breaks a tackle. He's into the secondary out to the 31-yard line. One guy had him by the jersey, but he got loose and he kept moving those feet.
Well, that's just a demonstration of Bryce's strength right there. He just kept running and ran through a tackle and looked like he was going down and just kept going.
That's it. Just kept chugging those feet, and that's what he does. And he is a strong kid. Second down now. We need a long 12. 7:38 to play here in the second quarter as we lead 12-0 at the 32-yard line of Enka. And this time a long huddle. Still 15 on the play clock. Still plenty of time, but Maroon Devils this time. Twins out to the right side. Connor Hyatt, the wide man over here on the right side, as it's going to be reverse around the left side this time. It's going to be Donovan Gronewald, and he's going to score all the way. It looks like Gronewald is going to be in the end zone, Toby.
Yeah, that was a well-conceived play from the get-go, and you could almost see it unfolding up here. And all the Jets were running in this direction, and they had nothing on that back side, and Donovan took off to the races.
Oh, it was very well conceived and well blocked, and again, Gronewald in for the touchdown on the reverse.
We're going to try an extra point again here.
Yep, we've had a tough time the first 2 attempts.
That's been the adventure of the night.
And this is a line drive. It's going to be up and
still no good.
Oh, no good. And again, the snap was not getting back to Connor Hyatt. It was wide to his right. Connor tried to grab it on his hip and pull it around, but we're having trouble getting the football back to where it needs to be on the PAT. So with 7:10 to play, 18-0 Maroon Devils. We'll be back in 1 minute on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Center for Disease Control sent out an alert this week. It stated that 215 students in 26 different states have come down with severe pulmonary diseases because of their use of e-cigarettes. They come in all shapes and sizes. They might look like a lighter. They might look like a pen. Or they might look like a flash drive. It just depends. Here's the concern. We really don't know how much damage e-cigarettes can do, but we do know they contain nicotine very often. And nicotine and the adolescent brain don't go together very well. So please, help me watch, and let's ask our youth, what are you smoking, and do you know what it'll do to you? Let's cut down the use of e-cigarettes, just like we have the use of cigarettes, tobacco cigarettes, in the past 20 years. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping me take care of the youth of Swain County, and God bless you.
Fans, welcome back. Gary Ayers along with Toby Burrell. Joe Holt just around the corner, the man behind the camera, and here we go with a kickoff. As again, kicking off is going to be Aiden Pond. Good kick. Going to be hitting at the 21, and it's going to be picked up at the 19-yard line again by Dallas Phillips, who goes around the right side across the 30, out across the 40. And again, Dallas Phillips has, there's a late penalty flag coming in. I think probably a late hit out of bounds might be the call. But Toby, that's what we were talking about earlier. Dallas Phillips, if you don't get him hemmed in, so to speak, he can burn you.
Yeah, he's got a lot of speed and a lot of elusiveness about him. And this is going to go to the 45 of Enka, but then 15 yards further down. So they are going to get set up with really good field position in Maroon Devil territory to open this drive with just 7 minutes before the half.
Oh, no doubt, and I'm sure Coach Neil Blankenship not happy with that call. And as you know, as any coach is, especially in football, you want your guys to be aggressive and go after the football, but you can't be overly aggressive.
Yeah, it's that fine line that as a coach you want the player to walk there.
Oh, yeah. It is a really fine line. But here comes the quarterback. He fakes one way, tosses the other way. It's going to be out across the 35 again. And again, here comes Dallas Phillips, and he is going to take it all the way to the 1-yard line. He almost had it in the end zone, but he lost his balance, and he tumbled in and had a nice somersault into the end zone, but he hit out at the 1.
Well, in college football, we would review that, wouldn't we?
Exactly.
To make sure.
Absolutely.
I think he probably was in, to be honest with you. That ball's on the 1-inch line now for the Jets.
He was very close and just lost his balance at the end.
Well, that was thanks to Gage Jones being able to get over there to him and be able to get his leg so that he tripped up just a little bit.
Now it's going to be Phillips and company in the backfield behind quarterback Logan Sanders. Sanders under center again. He's going to try the quarterback keeper, and I think he jumped over the goal line and got the ball across the stripe. Touchdown, Jets. As he didn't have to reach very far, did he?
No, he didn't.
But again, he's a tall kid as well. Logan Sanders is 6'2", the Jet quarterback. And now they're going to try the PAT.
Yeah, they're going to kick it here.
Now let's see if they can have a little better luck. Is coming on to kick here for the Jets is going to be Carson Reeves, their sophomore. Good snap, good hold. He kicks it up, and it looks good from here, and it is. So with 6:45 to play, we're in the second quarter. It's Swain County 18 and the Enka Jets 7. We'll be back in 1 minute here on the Maroon Devils Network.
I'm Taylor Holt with the Maroon Devils Network. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you enjoy our videos, please hit the notification bell down below so you can get a notification every time that we upload a video.
The Smoky Mountain Conference, one of North Carolina's oldest and most storied athletic conferences, producing champions on and off the playing field for decades. The Smoky Mountain Conference. Tradition lives here.
No question about it. I would dare say, Toby, as Enka kicks off, the Smoky Mountain Conference has more state football champions than any conference in the state. Bringing it back. Here come the Maroon Devils out to the left side, out across the 35, out to the 40. Nice run back across the 45-yard line. I couldn't tell, but that looked like Groenwald. And I tell you, he's deceptively quick for a 6'1 sophomore.
Yeah, he's done a good job when the ball's been in his hand and not doing it, making things happen. And that's just a glimpse of the talent. He had a great night. Actually, last week, Gary, lost in the win and everything. He had 3 very good receptions.
He did.
In that football game.
He has been a great addition to this Maroon Devil varsity football team, the 6'1", 190-pound sophomore. Great future ahead for him. Split backs here behind Damian now on first down at the 46-yard line. Turns and, he keeps it. Now he pitches it. Wow, kind of a busted play almost. But Bryce Sane around the left side has a blocker, and he directs his man, and he's got a first down. A busted play. Connor Hyatt out there blocking for him, but Damian got in trouble. It's almost like he missed the handoff or wanted to hand it off and couldn't. Then he pitched it back, and Bryce made something out of nothing.
Yeah, I don't know how to explain that play. That's where we need Coach White, because I got nothing on that one, folks. That was crazy. That's a 10-yard gain out of nothing. Great job by Bryce. But
Lossie was in the grasp. He turned and looked, and he was able to pitch it back at the last second to Bryce, and Bryce kind of directing Connor Hyatt. Connor blocked for him and got a first down. Yeah, that was creativity at the line of scrimmage. At the 43-yard line of the Jets, Damian wants to throw, looks, has time, now rolls to his right. He throws it down the field in the hands, and it's going to be caught by Groenwald. First down at the 28-yard line of Jet territory. And again, he's a pretty good target with the catch down there.
Yeah, he presented himself very well, got his number squared up to Damian, and then had the elevation to be able to help Damian out a little bit by going up and getting it. He didn't have to go far, but going up and making a good, solid, strong catch right there and turning, beating his man. It was a man coming from the inside that ended up tackling him.
That's it.
For a big game for the Maroon Devils. First pass of the night that I recall from Damian.
And doing a good job. First down now at the 27-yard line, we'll call it, of Jet territory. Damian back in the gun, hands off to Bryce Sane. Left side this time, the Jets are all over this play as we only had a guy or two trying to block 3 over there. And the numbers just shot us down for a 2-yard loss.
And I don't like that a whole lot, Gary. Bryce came up a little bit limping on that play, and that's not a good sign for the Maroon Devils, and they're faithful. I was a little worried on the tackle where he scrambled over there. He got hit low to knock him out of bounds, and when you've got a foot planted or something like that and you get hit low, that's when you turn an ankle, and those type of things happen. So let's hope for the best on Bryce, and that deserves us to keep watching for a little bit, maybe a big thing for the rest of this football game.
Oh, no doubt. Second down now and 12. Our Devils at the 30-yard line of Enka. Damian wants to throw again down the middle. He just kind of got this one away because couldn't find anybody open, and he was in a lot of traffic.
They had Groenwald running a post pattern that time back into the playing field.
Yep,
and I think that's where he was trying to hit him on the cut, but there was traffic. There's a lot of traffic right there in the way, a lot of blue shirts to kind of muddy the waters a little bit there right around the line of scrimmage, and he pulled it back down and then wisely got rid of it to kind of kill it so they didn't take a loss.
That's it. Third down and 12. As now we have 5 minutes to play here in the first half. And the Maroon Devils here with basically in 4-down territory. Now third down and 12. Let's see what we do. Twins on the right side, split wide right. That's Groenwald and Connor Hyatt. Damian looking. Now he's rolling to the left, and he has to throw it away, but a screen play set up over here. Bryce Sane down the left sideline has the first down at the 15, at the 10, cuts back inside, and he's going to take it all the way to the house. And that was Bryce Sane doing what Bryce Sane does.
Run.
Wow. That's a lot of fancy footwork.
That was definitely a lot of fancy footwork, and I thought Damian was just throwing that ball away, to be honest with you.
Me too. He did. I think he was just glad to get rid of it because he had a lot of heat breathing down his neck.
And Bryce was there, and he made something out of it.
Wow. That was it almost looked like a screen, but there's really only one blocker out there, I think, for Bryce. He made a lot of stuff happen. Again, we're having trouble with the snap on the PAT, but this one is good. Connor Hyatt reached around to his right, brought it back, and we were able to give Gavin Lanning just enough time to kick it up and in. 25-7, Maroon Devils in the lead with 4:50 to play in the first half. Stay with us. We'll be back in just 1 minute here on the Maroon Devils Network.
I'm Taylor Holt with the Maroon Devils Network. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you enjoy our videos, please hit the notification bell down below so you can get a notification every time that we upload a video.
Fans, welcome back. Maroon Devils in the lead here from Enka High School. Got about 5 minutes to play in the first half. Up 25-7 now is Aiden Pond. And his bright orange shoes, you can tell he's the man to kick it off, and he kicks off from the 40. This time angling it toward the right hash mark, taken at the 15 by the Jets. On the return, it's going to be Jared Smith back out across the 20, and he crosses the 22, and that's where he's met with a good open field tackle over there by Cody Long, looks like, and a good job by the kickoff team.
Yeah, that was a good special teams play there. Cody with a nice tackle in the open field where things have been kind of elusive for us a little bit tonight out there in the open field at times, and Cody came in there with a big stick.
No question. Fans, stay tuned at halftime. Going to be coming back with some Maroon Devil games coming up next week for you. Not only in football, but soccer and volleyball. Got some big games. And also, if you missed some of the highlights from last week's game, we have that coming up at halftime as well with Taylor Holt. Good highlight package in that win over Smoky Mountain. Again, here comes Dallas Phillips trying to get outside. Penalty flag down, and it's going to bring it back again. And again, another good run down the sideline. It's going to be Jake Langston on the tackle, along with, looks like Groenwald again. But again, it's going to come back, Toby, with a flag.
Yeah, that was a block in the back on the Ian Brooks had that squared up pretty good, and the kid just caught him right in the back of the shoulder to try to pick him off, and that's going to go back. So it'll go from, looks like around 23 maybe, or 22 back to the 12. So that's going to be a good break for the Maroon Devils in terms of being able to pin Enka perhaps back in this territory. And with 4:33 left, maybe have another chance to punch some more points in here before the half.
That's it. Still plenty of time as the ball is going to be back deep in Jet territory. And I know over on the sideline I can see the frustration on the face of Dallas Phillips. As he has had some good runs. One was a touchdown called back. Another good run there for a first down that was called back. So, boy, you got to, clean up those mistakes next week when you look at the film and try to get ready for next Friday night. First down now. Jets need about 20. Quarterback back in the gun. Wants to throw down the right sideline. Got a man. He's got a step, and it's going to be up for grabs. But again, well played by Connor Hyatt over there as the receiver had a step on him down the sideline, but the ball just a little too much air under it.
That was a pretty good coverage by Connor. He was maybe a half step behind, but he opened up well there to be able to make a play on that ball that was overthrown. Had it been underthrown, he'd had another pick right there.
No doubt. He was in perfect position. And again, we can see the arm of Logan Sanders. He has plenty of arm to get the ball down the field for the Enka Jets. This time they have 3 wide on second down and 20. Maroon Devils with a 3-man front right now. Let's see if we got a little blitz coming from the left side, and he's stepping up in traffic. Quarterback trying to get away, and he finally hits a knee, and it's going to be stopped at the 16-yard line. Got about 3 or 4 yards back, but it's going to bring up still third down at about 16 here, Toby.
Yeah, it looked like he took a kind of a shot to the head there from one of his blockers as he ran by and just kind of went down. It worried me there for a second because you never know when you get hit like that what's going on. But it looked like he just felt a lot of traffic around him and decided to go ahead and get down and take himself out of that fray.
You're right, because that's where the concussion questions start coming in. But we hope he's going to be okay. Again, the quarterback, Logan Sanders, only a junior. A lot of underclassmen on this Jet football team that will be back next year as he lines up on the shotgun. Got 3 wide receivers. Turns, has traffic and pressure, and he steps up, and it's going to be stopped after gaining a couple of yards. But the Maroon Devils really coming in hard after him. Leading the way is Jake Langston on the sack. Also in there was big 66, Colby Kirkland. Fourth down, the Jets will have to punt, as coming on is Eli Hutchins.
Somebody flashed off of that edge where he was going to throw the ball to that I didn't see, that forced everything awry for him back inside, but I couldn't get a number on that. It may have been long again.
It could have been. He and Langston were coming hard. Line drive punt And Bryce is going to watch this one bounce, and no return, but great field position at the 41-yard line. And the Maroon Devils still have 2:45 before halftime and a 25-7 lead.
And I believe we have all 3 timeouts. I don't think either team's taken any so far. So
you're right.
The Maroon Devils, let's see if they can put together a drive to get some points on the board here right before the half.
No doubt. And don't forget now, friends, coming up next week in football, it's going to be JV Football Thursday at Cherokee. That's Thursday, September 12th. And our varsity next Friday. It's going to be Friday the 13th, believe it or not. And we hope it's unlucky for the Franklin Panthers, because that's where we'll be, over in the Panther Pit. As Toby mentioned, it's a hard place to win over there, no matter what your school or how big your school is. It's they defend their home turf very well.
But you know what, Gary? We talked about this place and our place and the Pisgah-Tuscola. The Panther Pit is a great venue for high school football. It is an amazing atmosphere.
It is.
All the way around.
It is.
And it is really something. It's good. And I think they feel the same way about us, but it's good to go play in that atmosphere for our kids, and they get the same in return when they come to Swain. And that's one of the reasons that particular rivalry, if you want to call it that, is not going to go away, because it's 2 special places to play high school football, and it's always been kind of cool. They have, in the past, since we're all around 9/11, they've done a tribute to military, and then we've returned the favor over at our place. So again, it's one of those things where collaboratively I think we've built a very good venue between the 2 schools over the last decade of playing.
Oh, no question. And I think you're right. I think the philosophy with the administration at Franklin and at Swain very similar, and a lot of pride in country, family, and church activities. A lot of great folks over there. Damian Lossie rolling left side, has time, now reverses field. He gets a block, now turns upfield, fires downfield, got his man at the 39-yard line. Out of bounds over there is going to be the tight end, Jake Langston. Finally brought down, but just good work by Damian Lossie to keep the play alive and find an open man.
Good job, too, by his receivers to work their way back to this side of the field. Everything was overloaded there. It got congested for Damian. He reversed field, but fortunately so did Jake coming on across here, and he was wide open when he did it. Damian doing a good job getting his feet underneath him and throwing a strike, and Jake with a good catch. Big game for the Maroon Devils, and we talked about that 2-minute drill, and we're already across midfield into Jet territory.
Oh, and still have 2:31 to play and all our timeouts at the 38-yard line of Enka. And the official still talking something over, not quite ready to get the play underway here late in the second quarter.
Did we have a flag over there?
Back downfield, but now they're ready to go, I think. Not sure what that discussion was about, but we're ready to go now. The clock running with 2:24 and counting. This time Maroon Devils have 1 man wide on each side. Got a wing over here setting up on the left side. 1 man beside Damian Lossie. That's going to be Bryce Sane. He gets the handoff, and he follows his blockers. But, boy, the blockers don't give him any daylight, as he is met in the backfield hard in there by big Jackson Hensley, a 6'1", 235-pound senior for the Jets, for a loss on the play. But, again, he just had no room to run. Wanted to pop it outside, then tried to come back inside, but they have the lanes pretty well plugged on him.
Well, that was a loss on the play. Now we're down to 140 and counting.
Second down, we need 15. Line of scrimmage now at the 43. We got to get down to about the 28. Twin backs, Damian, straight drop, throws downfield, timing pattern, sideline up for grabs.
Oh.
Almost caught over there by Groenwald. And an outstanding defensive play over there by Shannon for the Jets. But both guys had a shot at that football.
Well, that was well played by both individuals right there. The defense was took a catch away from Donovan over there.
They really did. That was a very wide open play for defense and offense to grab that football. But incomplete. Now 3rd down and long with 1:27 to play as the clock is stopped.
Well, this is a pretty big 3rd down. If Maroon Devils are going to punch something across right here, they got to get some yardage.
No doubt. 4 wide this time. 4 wide receivers. Trips on the right side, the wide side of the field. That's where Damian rolls. He has pressure, steps up, fires, got his man at the 30, turning around and knocked down at the 25. First down, Maroon Devils, and an outstanding catch going up in the air over there. It's going to be Gage Jones, looks like.
Well, that was a good pattern. They had 3 on the out pattern in different staggered intervals, and it opened up the middle man as the one who ended up being uncovered, and Damian just fired a strike in there to Gage for the first down.
And we're using our first timeout now with 1:17 to play. And we'll keep it right here as we're getting ready for halftime coming up in just a few minutes. And again, thanks to everybody back at WBHN 94.1 FM and 1590 AM for keeping things up and running on the air back there. And, of course, everybody watching and listening on the Maroon Devils Network.
Well, Gary, last week we had 500 viewers on the Maroon Devil Network watching the Smoky Mountain game. And we always get the argument from Robbinsville and Murphy that our broadcast hurt the gate. Last week was our biggest gate in the last couple of years. So kudos to you folks who are tuning in because you can't get to the game. We appreciate you, and we'll continue to fight for you.
Absolutely.
Because we appreciate your viewership and being willing to watch these kids and what they do and investing in them with your effort and your Friday night. So we appreciate that.
That's it. And as you mentioned, Toby, when you come right down to it, that's what it's all about, is these students.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Right. That's what it's about. Here we go. Split backs again. First down. Devils at the 25-yard line. Enka now with a three-man front. Got a 34 look on defense, if you will. Damian straight drop. He's in trouble again. Fires down the middle, underthrown, and boy, is almost picked off. Down there again, Shannon, number 2, who's been he's been a busy man for the Jets tonight, and that ball was close to going the other way.
Connor Hyatt did a good job playing cornerback on that one to keep that tapped out of the defender's arms.
I think you're exactly right. That'll stop the clock now with 1:11 to go, and second down and 10 from the 25. But one thing about it, the Jets have really been putting a lot of pressure on Damian Lossy when he didn't take a big drop, and man, when he goes back to throw, he's got folks after him.
Yeah, he's looking at a lot of blue.
Yes, indeed. Straight drop again. This time over the middle. Got his man. The tight end has it. Just a quick turnaround pass to tight end Jake Langston, who's a good target at 6'2", and that should be a first down at the 14-yard line.
And again, they sent more than we could block, and they were right in his face, and he did a good job of spinning that thing loose. We're under a minute now with the clock still ticking. We're going to get a play call first down, though, for the Maroon Devils.
At the 14-yard line now. First down in the red zone. Got a receiver on each side. Twin backs again behind Damian. Strong side right. He hands off right. And down to the 11-yard line. Let's see if there's a timeout. That was, again, our fullback in there, Ian Brooks, on the carry. And there's our second timeout with 41 seconds to play. But a great night for football tonight, Toby. I know a lot of folks have been following the Dorian hurricane situation, and I know it caused a lot of damage south of the United States, but it looks like, and again, I know anything can change in a heartbeat, but it looks like a lot of the Atlantic coast, Florida, South Carolina, Georgia, and even North Carolina might have escaped what could have been a real mess.
Well, we certainly hope so, because they've seen enough of that recently, and we hope they can avoid it for the rest of the hurricane season, which is just now beginning, as I understand it.
That's it.
What a way to kick off, right?
It just now started.
I hope that's the end of it.
Absolutely.
We've seen it all.
We hope we don't see any more. Yeah, we want that stuff to go away. All right. One timeout left. Second down. We need about 7, almost 8 yards at the 11-yard line. Got to get down to the 4 for a first down. But again, 41 seconds on the clock. Time a factor. Got a man moving. Is there a flag? No flag. Rolling. Lossy looking in the end zone. Connor right on the sideline. Pass is going to be, he tried to tiptoe on the sideline, but just no room over there.
Well, that is such a tough catch. You see that all the time in college and pro, and they make it look so easy.
They do. One-hand grabs.
But you're trying to catch a BB thrown at you while you're trying to keep your toes in bounds, and that's some serious multitasking there. I think we got a penalty on the flag on the play, although I don't see a penalty flag.
Yeah, I think we moved early.
Okay.
Oh, there's a holding call. Wow, that's even worse. Okay. Back to the 21-yard line. It looks like we jumped a little bit, but instead it was a holding call. So now it's going to bring up a second down back at the 21-yard line. We've got to go to the 4, so we need about 17.
Swain with one timeout left, and we're at 35 seconds at this point.
So now this is a big second down play. Obviously, if we run the ball and get some good yards, may have to use our last timeout. Split backs again. Got a man in motion coming over here this time. It's going to be Gage Jones to the left side. Damian rolling that way, looking, firing toward the end zone. Too tall. I don't think he liked what he saw, so he threw it away.
He seemed to have a hard time getting his feet set underneath him, too, and I believe in doing that, his shoulder dropped and he got underneath the ball. It's kind of like throwing a fastball high. If you get your shoulder down too low, it's going to take off on you and sail, and I think that happened to him.
Yeah, that one did.
That one, it definitely took off.
Yeah, it sailed on him, and now that stops the clock, though, with 29 seconds to play. Third down and still 21. So, of course, Lossie right now, I think, not as concerned with the first down, but just trying to get that ball in the end zone with 29 seconds to play. Twins on the right side, split backs. Strong side left. Oh, he dropped the snap, and he's in trouble in the backfield and goes down. So, again, that's we're going to use our final timeout here with fourth down and a long way to go. I guess that gives us it would be a long field goal attempt, so I have a feeling maybe we'll try to get one in the end zone via the pass. We'll see.
Yeah, it would be upwards of 40 for a field goal attempt. I think realistically we'd have to gain about 10 yards to have given a realistic shot to these young kickers. And I say young because both of them are young to the game of football.
Yes.
Not necessarily Gavin's a sophomore, but if they chose to let Aiden kick that, he's a senior, but this is his first year playing football as a kicker.
Yeah, and it's different kicking that oblong ball as a kicking to the round ball, isn't it?
Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is.
And if you don't believe it, try it. Just give it a try and see how that
situation here for the Maroon Devils. Let's see what they've got dialed up to gain some yardage here on fourth down. Obviously, if they don't complete it, it's a turnover anyway. So you would assume that it's going to be a shot at the end zone at this point. Looks or something underneath that will lead to the end zone.
Looks like we got Connor Hyatt down on the short side, wide right. Looks like Groenwald is up on the wide side of the field, wide left. Got one man in the slot. Over there, that's going to be Gage Jones. Damian rolling to his right. Has protection. Plenty of time. Firing. Oh, too tall. Down on the right side, he was trying to get it over there to Gage Jones. But, again, very well covered by the Jets secondary, and that gives the Jets the ball back with 16 and a half seconds to play before halftime.
That was well covered.
I
believe on that one, Damian was just throwing the ball to a place that only his receiver could get to, and if Gage were able to come up with a great catch, so be it. If not, so be it.
That's it. That was a very safe play. And that's one thing about you. I think I've seen Damian, I know you have too, Toby, is of course last year was his first year as a starting quarterback, but ever since he has started, it seems like every game he just progressively gets better and makes better decisions.
Yeah, I would agree with that. That's part of the maturation process of a quarterback, though.
Yes, indeed.
In high school football, college football, pro football.
You said
to be able to make those plays. So.
And the final play of the first half, the Enka Jets hit a knee as their quarterback, Logan Sanders, hits a knee, and both teams will head for the locker room with our score at halftime. Maroon Devils 25 and the Jets 7. Fans, stay tuned. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back to give you some updates on the first half and more. Stay with us back in 2 minutes here on the Maroon Devils Network. Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're at halftime here at Enka Jet Stadium over in Greater Buncombe County as our Maroon Devils have a 25-7 lead here on the Maroon Devils Network at halftime. Gary Ayers along with Toby Burrell as the fans are getting ready to be entertained by the Enka Jet Marching Band, and they, like just about every high school, are very proud of their marching band. They put a lot of time and energy and work into the marching band program, and they have a very good band here. And Toby, talking about the bands, we had a good band of Maroon Devils performing in the first half for a 25-7 lead. We saw both teams, I think, make some mistakes that both coaches would like to see, I'm sure, thrown away and maybe not made again in the second half. I know some penalties, a turnover here and there, a loose football here and there, a couple of special teams miscues. But I know both teams and both coaches do a good job, and they're going to try to make those better.
Well, and there's going to be some serious film study next week, too, on a lot of this for both squads, I'm sure. But we've got some score updates for everybody at home in case they're not able to get them. We're 25-7 here at the half, of course. Smoky Mountain Mustangs all over Cherokee now, 35-0 at the half.
Wow.
So the Mustangs are very angry, apparently, after last week, taking it out on the Braves. They're a good football team.
They're good.
2 straight losses has had them a little upset, I'm sure. This one, I'm not sure which team's playing defense. Looks like neither. Robbinsville leads Irwin 32-21. That's still in the second quarter.
Wow.
And I would imagine that because they seem to be scoring every time they get the football. So. And then Tellico Plains has pulled away at the half from Hayesville. It's 35-6 over there. You know, Hayesville started out 2-0, so this is the first time they've faced that kind of adversity over there with a very good Tellico Plains team. Murphy jumped out to a really big lead. Now it's settled in. It's 20-3 with second quarter. It's still a little bit before halftime, it looks like. And the Rosman Tigers are ahead of Madison 17-0 at the half. And I'll have to do a search on Pisgah-Tuscola for us, but for the most part, conference teams pretty well holding their own here on this third Friday night of the season. 8-0 in the third quarter. Pisgah still leads Tuscola.
Wow.
That's a strange score. I didn't expect that.
That's basically a touchdown, a missed extra point, or maybe a 2-point conversion. And right now, I would imagine the happiest person up there at CU Weatherby Stadium is the person that won the 50-50 halftime raffle.
Yeah, that's over with. So there's somebody who's very happy right now.
Last year, that person won $20,000. That's hard for me to imagine. I know every high school around here that I know of does that 50-50 raffle in one way or another, but to walk out of the stadium with $20,000 has got to be a pretty good feeling.
Hey, and you always know that when you do those, if you're doing them, you hope that whoever the winner is donates it back. That's not happening over there.
No,
that's a car payment or two.
Exactly. Yeah, $20,000. That'd be a big
We're
donation.
We're not doing that.
And but a heck of a football game going on up there. And right now we've got I think a good second half coming up here at Enka High School. Talking about some other games coming up down the road, Toby. As we mentioned, next week in football, our JVs are going to be at Cherokee on Thursday. That'll be September 12th. And then next Friday, our Maroon Devils are going to be on the road for the second week in a row, as we'll be at Franklin to take on the Brooks brothers and one of our old friends, Tony Plemons, still one of the assistant coaches over there. Of course, his brother Doug, still coaching basketball over there at Franklin High School. So we got a lot of friends over there, but we'll be over at Franklin in the Panther Pit next Friday. Now, coming up in Lady Devils volleyball, and our Lady Devils volleyball team off to one of the best starts ever. They have some really tough conference games. Coming up on Tuesday, our Lady Devils volleyball team is going to be at Hayesville, and that's a big matchup. Hayesville, a tough team last year. We'll see how they are this year. Then on Thursday, our Lady Devils will be hosting Murphy, and that'll be, again, at Swain County High School, and we hope a lot of folks are going to be able to get to both those games on the road Tuesday at Hayesville, home with Murphy on Thursday. And as we've said 100 times, it doesn't matter if we're playing Murphy in volleyball and football or checkers down on the square. We want to win.
Well, that one will be coming to you live on the Maroon Devils Network as well. So if you can't make that game, be sure and tune in because it should be a dandy for them. It's going to be a busy week for the Maroon Devils Network, to be honest with you, Gary. We've got something Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Wow.
So it's going to be a busy week. Monday and Wednesday will be soccer action. First chance we've got to get out and be with Scott Klein and the soccer team. We're looking forward to that. We'll have those games on Monday and Wednesday, and then the Thursday game with Murphy, that's always one we look forward to here on the Maroon Devils Network. And then Franklin, as we said, you don't get much better atmospheres around than going over the Panther Pit and doing battle with those guys and two teams that tradition matters to, and being a part of the old Smoky Mountain Conference matters to them. And, so it'll be a good time. So it's a good time to make your subscription to the Maroon Devils Network and follow along all week long. We'll have all sorts of news as this fall season begins to heat up for everybody around, as it's starting to get towards the middle point of seasons for cross country and for volleyball and soccer. Cross country has a big meet tomorrow at Murphy.
Wow.
That they're going to as well. So a lot of stuff going on, and the only way to keep up with all of it is to follow along on the Maroon Devils Network.
And talking about soccer, as you mentioned, 2 games next week for the soccer team. Going to be at home with Tallulah Falls Monday. And again, game time is going to be at 6 o'clock. And then on Wednesday, the soccer team at home again hosting Madison. So again, soccer team at home Monday and Wednesday. Volleyball team on the road Tuesday, at home on Thursday. Football, JVs at Cherokee Thursday. Varsity at Franklin on Friday. So a lot of great sports, as you mentioned, Toby, this week. And boy, some of those games are intense.
And they're all the games are big. So don't get me wrong. But I'm just saying, with this thing going on, the Lady Devils have opened up 7-1. They're undefeated in conference play. They would like to wrap up this first swing through conference that way and then point towards the second half of the season. If you've missed out, it's some good volleyball that's going on at Swain.
It is.
Very good volleyball, and they're a good team. And Jenna Marr she's for real, folks. She is a dominant force, and worth the price of admission to come out and watch Miss Marr do her thing. And along the way, there's a lot of good pieces in there with her. That's why they're 7-1.
Oh, no doubt. And again, as we mentioned, Hayesville, then Murphy, and actually after that, the other team I think that's going to be in the conference hunt is going to be Robbinsville. So you talk about Hayesville, Murphy, Robbinsville, back to back to back. That's going to say a lot about the conference.
Well, Robbinsville had the same schedule we do this week. They played Hayesville and Murphy last week and took both of those contests.
Wow.
From Hayesville and Murphy. So it's actually the Black Knights who are undefeated in conference play right now. But you can't look ahead of a Hayesville or a Murphy, because if you do, you're going to get beat. Because you just can't look past those. You got to go take care of business and then take care of business again and then worry about Robbinsville. You can't start looking at that, because if you do, you're in trouble.
No doubt about it.
But it's shaping up to be a big one, and that first one's going to be over at Robbinsville, so it'll be a tough one for our girls.
Oh, no question. Fans, stay tuned right now. Let's, in case you missed it in the pregame show, we have some outstanding highlights from last week's 24-21 win over Smoky Mountain. Here's Taylor Holt and some outstanding highlights. Taylor, take it away. I'm sorry. Have you got it? Okay. There we go.
For the home opener at Swain Memorial Stadium, our Maroon Devils faced a very tough Smoky Mountain Mustang team. Just last year, this same Mustang team gave our Devils a 56-point beating at their place. This year would be different. In front of a large home crowd, Swain controlled the game for the first quarter and a half. After holding Smoky on their initial possession, the Maroon Devils took over on their own 20-yard line. After 2 costly penalties, the Devils were facing a 2nd and 14 from their own 31-yard line. Junior quarterback Damian Lossie hit sophomore Gage Jones in stride down the home sideline. Jones was knocked out of bounds at the Mustang 20-yard line for a 49-yard gain. Swain then got a 16-yard gain from junior running back Bryce Sane. Sane's carry set the Devils up with the 1st and goal from the Mustang 4-yard line. 3 plays later, it was Sane who punched it in from the 1-yard line to put the Devils on the board. Gavin Lanning made the extra point to extend the lead to 7-0. It would be the Maroon Devil defense who came up big on the next series. Smoky Mountain drove the ball to the Maroon Devil 30-yard line, where they faced the 4th and 1 for a crucial first down. Colby Kirkland, Ian Brooks, and Jacob Langston combined to stop Will Frady for no gain. The Swain offense took over and promptly drove 67 yards in 7 plays before the Mustang defense held the Devils on the 3-yard line. Facing a 4th and goal from the 3, Coach Neil Blankenship elected to go for a field goal. Sophomore Gavin Lanning calmly connected on his first career field goal from 20 yards out to give the Maroon Devils a 10-0 lead just minutes into the second quarter. Facing 2nd and 4 to go from the Maroon Devils' 37-yard line, the Mustangs only had 19 seconds remaining. Chris Wilburn hit Darian Bird, who beat the Swain defense for a 37-yard touchdown. The point after was good, and the two teams headed to halftime with the Devils on top, 10-7. On Swain's next possession, Coach Neil Blankenship and the Maroon Devils took a big gamble. Facing a 4th and 5 from their own 43-yard line, Damian Lossy, who is back to punt, faked the punt and found sophomore Donovan Grunwald open for a 15-yard gain that would keep the drive alive. The Maroon Devils would cover 62 yards on 10 plays. Damian Lossy scored on a 24-yard scamper, which put the Devils back on top. Lanning drilled the extra point to make the Swain lead 17-14. With 6 minutes and 47 seconds remaining, the Mustangs drove 65 yards on 7 plays to retake the lead. Smoky Mountain would utilize Dustin Stevens on 6 of the 7 plays. It would be Stevens who found the end zone from 8 yards out, giving the Mustangs a 21-17 lead with 4 minutes and 37 seconds left in the game. On their next possession, the Devils faced a 1st and 18 to go from their own 24-yard line. Damian Lossy hit an open Connor Hyatt in stride near midfield. Hyatt did the rest as he outraced the Mustang defense for the go-ahead touchdown. Following Lanning's extra point, the Maroon Devils had the lead again at 24-21. On the Mustangs' first play from scrimmage, Smoky Mountain would fumble. Connor Hyatt recovered the ball just before it would go out of bounds, giving Swain the ball back on the Mustang 49-yard line. The Maroon Devils gained a crucial first down and successfully ran out the clock for the win. On offense, the Maroon Devils outgained the Mustangs 401 yards to 280 yards. On the ground, Bryce Zane racked up another 100-yard rushing game, finishing with 122 on 17 carries. Damian Lossy broke 100 yards as well, finishing with 103 on 15 carries. Lossy was also efficient through the air, completing 6 of 13 passes for 168 yards, a career high. Connor Hyatt also notched a career high with 2 receptions and 86 yards. Donovan Grunwald had 3 catches for 33 yards. On defense, Jacob Langston finished with 13 tackles. Cody Long had 10, while Lucas Brown and Ian Brooks finished with 7 each to provide a solid defensive game against a very dangerous Mustang offense. Through solid football on both sides of the ball, the Maroon Devils moved to 2-0 with a 24-21 victory over the Smoky Mountain Mustangs.
Fans, welcome back live. Both teams back on the field here at Enka High School on a really beautiful Friday night for high school football. The Jets and the Maroon Devils taking a look at a couple of highlights in the first half. You saw some of the highlights from last week's 24-21 win over Smoky Mountain. Offensively in the first half, Damian Lossy, 5 for 10, 100 yards and a touchdown, Toby. That's pretty solid stats because the Enka Jets really had a solid pass rush after him all night.
Well, they sure did. There were some of those 5 incompletions that were thrown away to stop the clock. You know, it was just or avoid a sack. So his percentage realistically is much better than that. But as a quarterback, you know, sometimes you got to wear those things because that's what you got to do for your team. But another good week. Last week was a great week for Damian throwing the football, and he was right at 5 of 10 in that week too.
Yeah, he's making very good decisions tonight. Bryce Sane with a fabulous night tonight. 10 carries, 74 yards. Nothing wrong with a 7.4 average. And again, Phillips 10 for 55. And here we go as it's going to be a kickoff that Maroon Devils will jump on. We actually touched it, and the ball was still loose at the 32. So we get on the football quickly, but that was almost dangerous.
It was, and I think they were kicking away from Bryce, and Carson Taylor was the man that it bounced there. And I think Carson was expecting to bounce up and him be able to take it, and it took a backwards bounce on him.
Again, Dallas Phillips, who we were talking about for the Enka Jets, had a solid first half, 10 carries, 55 yards. So, as we mentioned coming in, he has had a great season in 2 games, 249 yards rushing on 34 carries and a couple of scores. And now the Maroon Devils will open up the second half with the football. Damian Lossy is going to be in the shotgun with a man right beside him. He starts that way, runs the other way, has a nice hole, and carries out to the 35-yard line for a 3-yard gain. He started to go one way, and Toby reverse field and had a nice hole right up the middle.
Yeah, he sure did. It looked like they were going to be straight option out of that shotgun set, which we've done quite a bit. And he just stopped on a dime and turned the other way. I don't know if it's designed to be a misdirection or if Damian just didn't like what he saw and decided to go the other way. But a tough 3-yard gain as he took a pop there from Phillips, who's back in that secondary.
Yes, indeed. Enka physical football team, 2nd down and 7 now. Line of scrimmage at the 35. Damian back in the gun. This time he tosses over to Bryce, but boy, almost caught him in the backfield, and he's out to the 39-yard line, and he takes a hard hit again by Dallas Phillips.
Yeah, Phillips is laying some wood as he comes from that safety position. He looks like the number 6 from Life Christian coming in there.
He does.
Like a missile.
And again, he's not the biggest guy at 5'7", 165 pounds, but like a Bryce Sane, he's built very solid. He's a strong, quick football player.
He is a football player. You hit the nose right. You hit it right on the nose.
3rd down now. We need a long 3, and we come right up the gut with it into the secondary this time. It's going to be the fullback, and this time it's going to be, looks like Ian Brooks with a very good run. And, Toby, that was a physical run to get those yards.
It was, and it popped wide open for Ian. He did a good job making the first down. And then it was Phillips again on the tackle, so he's been involved in all 3 tackles on every offensive play for the Maroon Devils. So you wonder when Scotty McMahon and his offensive side may try a shot downfield as he comes running in on some of that off play action as the free safety.
And right now the Maroon Devils got twins up on the wide side, split out wide for Damian, but he hands off, and there's the fullback again as carries for a couple of yards out across the 48-yard line. This time is going to be again number 33, Ian Brooks, our 180-pound senior fullback in there, along with Bryce Sane and Damian Lossy in the Maroon Devil backfield. Short gain, 2nd down coming up. But 9:51 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Maroon Devils with a 25-7 lead. I know you think that's comfortable, but it's really not. When you have people like Dallas Phillips on the other side of the field who can bust one play and score, it's just never enough as the Maroon Devils line them up near the big jet. Damian tosses Bryce Sane, just a good old-fashioned sweep to the right side, but the Jets are all over it. But Bryce got a couple of yards when there was nothing. He just outrun the pursuit.
Yeah, he again made something out of nothing there.
Yeah. Well, they were after him. 4 guys were just converging on that play, Toby, from the Enka defense, and Bryce was just trying to get outside.
Well, the Enka defense has really come out, to me, in full attack mode here in the second half. They're coming downhill with a vengeance.
Yeah.
almost like they're daring the Maroon Devils to pass the football, though we're going to bring everybody, linebackers, safeties, everybody running to the line of scrimmage.
This time single coverage over here on the left. Man-to-man over here as Damian looks, fires in traffic. It's going to be, could have been intercepted. And there's the guy we've been talking about all night, Dallas Phillips. He was right there, just dropped the football. He had a wide open look at it.
He had a ton of daylight in front of him, too.
He did.
That may have been what distracted him as he saw 6 in his eyes.
Yeah, he saw a lot of green, artificial grass out there in front of him and plenty of speed. But now we're going to have to punt the ball away anyway on 4th down and about 8 at the 49-yard line. And back deep, of course, Dallas Phillips for the Enka Jets. And our quarterback, Damian Lossy. Always a threat, low snap. He scoops it up, kicks it high. Nice punt. Angling it. There's a fair catch at the 25-yard line, actually, by Dallas Phillips, where they will take over with 8:36 to play in the third quarter. 1st and 10.
Good job by Damian to play shortstop on that play and scoop that ball, low snapping in. That's been an adventure tonight on special teams. But as you said, a good high punt that took the return out, so Phillips wasn't able to do damage there. Now the Maroon Devil defense will come out and see what they can do here to open the second half.
Yeah, they have been pretty solid tonight, very steady. As the Enka Jets, let's see what the Jets do on their first possession offensively. And again, there's the go-to guy for a short gain. Dallas Phillips trying the left side of the line after he picked up 55 yards in the first half. But not much running room over there thanks to Colby Kirkland and company. And also over there, Ian Brooks plugging that hole.
Yeah, that hole closed up in a hurry, and I believe Phillips is a little shaken up. He came off and is down over here on the 35-yard line. He may have took a shot to the stomach. It looked like, to me, Charlie Lambert made a good form tackle right in the hole on him and lifted him. So that's a tough one to take in the midsection, and that looks like what the problem is and knocked the breath out of him a little bit.
Yep. Travis Reynolds in for the Jets in the place of Phillips. Over the middle pass, going to be incomplete, and there's a penalty flag coming in. Over there on the coverage was Colby Taylor, and so they're going to call, I'm sure, pass interference at the 40-yard line.
Looks like Colby may have got there just a hair early on that one. And,
just a little bit, had an arm in there.
And turned the receiver's body, and that was enough to get the flag. But that'll be a first down for the Jets.
Yes, indeed. So, again, we've seen some crucial penalties tonight, Toby. I know especially from the Enka Jet point of view. One brought back a touchdown. Of course, our Maroon Devils had a tough penalty that allowed Enka a first down when we were going to get the ball back. So it seems like these penalties have really been coming at costly times.
Yeah, and you got to remember, too, Gary, in a close football game, a touchdown difference, that's a big difference maker.
Oh, huge difference. First down and 10. Now for the Jets out near midfield at the 43-yard line. And here we go, right up the middle of the field, out across the 50-yard line. Good burst of speed over there by the new guy in the backfield. That's Travis Reynolds, who came in for Dallas Phillips, and Reynolds with a good game. And Reynolds, again, 6 foot, 165-pound senior with quick feet. Lines up right beside the quarterback, number 7. Number 6 and 7 side by side in the Jet backfield. He gets the call again, but this time Nick Millsaps is there and said, no way. He is he's a big guy to move out of the way, is Nick Millsaps.
Well, Nick and Langston, Chase Hughes, they just collapsed the pocket all the way back into the backfield. And I believe that's number 8, Gary, for them, Maddox.
Okay, DJ Maddox in there as well in the Jet backfield.
Are so similar. 6 is standing right down here in front of us.
Yep, that's got to be 8 then.
So
that's got to be DJ.
8. I think Phillips is back in the ball game now.
But you're right. DJ is the man, 5'7", because the other guy was 6 feet, and this guy in the backfield is not 6 feet. DJ on the block. They throw on the right side. Just a little slant pattern complete. And it's going to be over there to Shannon, number 2, who's, again, been a very busy man on offense and defense for the Jets tonight. And that's a big first down.
That was just a slant pattern in the seam of the Maroon Devil defense. And thrown in a manner that only his guy could get it. Just threw it over the first level of defense right in front of the second level, and a good throwing catch. First down for the Jets.
No doubt. Sanders, good pass over there for the Jets. Had time. Again, one man beside him, DJ Maddox in the backfield. No, it's going to be back in the backfield now. It's Dallas Phillips back in the game. But, boy, he came back in the game at a tough time. He gets stuck in the backfield with about 4 guys all over him and loses about 3 or 4 yards.
Was a great job out there by Ian Brooks not to give that outside edge. He just walled it off, said, no, you're not going around me. You're going to have to go in front of me. My help's coming.
And it did.
And that's about as technical as I can get on defense, Gary.
That's it. But
Coach White can do it much better.
But the help came.
Yeah, the help came.
He took the corner away, and help was on the way. 2nd down and 12 now. This time at the 36-yard line for the Jets. But again, Dallas Phillips back in. Glad to know he's okay and not injured. Quarterback back to throw, has time. Down the middle, got his man. And again down there, looks like Jackson Smith, number 10, who's been a favorite target of his here tonight for Enka. So it's going to be another Jet first down. Again, just nothing fancy, just a little inside slant move from a guy over there in the slot.
And again, between the 2 levels of the Swain defense, nice throw and catch. And another first down. He did a good job, Smith did, of finding that first down marker and running his route to it. So the Jets in business here with 5:16 remaining in the third.
Yes, indeed. And as we mentioned, we were talking about, let's see what adjustments they made. And we can see the Jets are going to have come out so far and are throwing the football more, loosening things up here. They're going to throw again. This time, Tommy Patton in the end zone, up for grabs, and it's going to be caught. It looks like a touchdown in the end zone. And again, there's number 2, Shannon. No, wait a minute.
No, it's a touchdown.
It is a touchdown. Our guy came up with the field with the football talking about Lucas Brown, but it's 6 for the Enka Jets for the touchdown.
Lucas took it away while they were laying on the ground.
So
be touchdown.
That one counts, no doubt. And again, there's the passing game we saw. So the Jets have come out and really opened things up offensively and moved the ball down the field. Now they're going to try to kick the PAT with 4:58 to play. Shannon, who just caught the touchdown, coming on to hold. And the kick is going to be up. And it's going to be good for the Jets. And it's a 25-14 ball game. And we'll be back in 1 minute. Stay with us right here on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Smoky Mountain Conference, one of North Carolina's oldest and most storied athletic conferences, producing champions on and off the playing field for decades. The Smoky Mountain Conference. Tradition lives here.
Fans, welcome back. 4:58 to play, third quarter. It's going to be the Jets to kick it off, and they're going to kick it high, almost an onside kick. It's a very, very short kick, and it's going to be caught down there. There's Charlie Lambert getting on the football, so we're going to have the football, Toby, in very good field position at the 43, 44-yard line.
It was a great job by Charlie not to turn his back to that play and take off running to block. He kept his shoulders open so he could see that, was able to stop and adjust. Gary, to me, this is the drive of the ball game for the Maroon Devils as to how they answer to this Jet offense who come out alive in this second half. And the Maroon Devils need an answer right here. Let's see what they do.
Oh, no doubt. This time it's going to be Damian Lossy handing off. And again, there's Ian Brooks out on the right side, just outside the C gap to the 45, 46-yard line, a 3-yard gain. And again, we were talking about the Enka Jet touchdown reception by Shannon Gakusana, number 2, who's been all over the field, much like number 3, Dallas Phillips, on both sides of the ball.
Another one of those really good athletes that the Jets have that they rely on. And he's one of the other defensive secondary people that has done a great job.
He really has. Number 2 and number 3, they've been playmakers. And talking about playmakers, our playmaker didn't get anywhere on that play because there again is another one of the guys we were talking about earlier. That's number 8, DJ Maddox, coming in with a big tackle on our Damian Lossy.
So big third down and 7 right here for the Devils, and let's see what Coach Scotty McMahon and the offensive staff dial up here for the Maroon Devils. And this as we said, this is a big drive to give it back to the Jets. Would give them some hope that they can put some points on the board and get back in this thing.
You said it. They score again, then it's a one-score ball game. So here we go, third down. We need about 7 to go. Rolling to the right side, pitch, and Bryce Sane is there, but he is hit immediately and is driven backwards. And Toby, you said it a minute ago, this Enka Jet defense has really been aggressive, and it's like they're running downhill. They're bringing their linebackers and secondary people, and they're really coming after us.
Oh, they sure are. And
man,
that time we were lucky. Very lucky to come out of there with the football.
That pitch was almost intercepted by the defense.
It was. And Bryce did a good job absorbing that hit and
he took a shot.
Spinning out of it.
He took a real shot, and that ball was up for grabs. Damian Lacion to punt. It's going to be returned this time from the 31-yard line. On the return, it's going to be Jackson Smith. He breaks a tackle or two and out across the 40. Nice return, and that's where the Jets now will take over 1st and 10. And Toby, you're right. 2 times in a row now in this third quarter, our offense has been forced to punt. And right now, you can feel that momentum going away from this Maroon Devil football team over to the Enka Jets.
Big Mo has swung, I'm afraid. The Swain defense clearly, with their backs against the wall here, they need a stop, and they need it right now. So let's see how this unfolds. Enka found some things with that passing game and some seams there.
Yes.
And it'll be interesting to see how Coach Blankenship and his staff adjust now.
It's going to be a big series here. 1st down and 10, Jets at the 41-yard line. Out of the shotgun, they turn and hand off. And again, it's their go-to guy, but he's corralled again. There's Nick Millsaps. There's Charlie Lambert, among others, coming up on the tackle. Also, Jake Langston helping out.
I personally like that play where they keep running at Nick Millsaps.
Oh,
it's turned out really well for us. So I like that play.
A loss of a yard. Again, that's Dallas Phillips. And it's hard to run at Nick Millsaps. You normally want to run away from that guy.
Absolutely.
He anchors that right side of the line. He's the right side defensive end over there. Got a 3-man front right now. Back to throw. The quarterback has time. Down the middle. And it's, in and out of the hands of, again, Shannon Gakusana.
And I think he cramped up.
Yep.
Right in the middle of that play. It would have been the difference.
Because it looked like he was going to come down with the ball, but I think you're right, Toby. I think he suffered a cramp right in the middle of the play, and it really caused him to probably miss that catch. And gets a pat on the back over there from our defensive back, talking about Groenwald. And we have a timeout on the field while they attend to one of their outstanding players, Shannon Gakusana, who again caught the touchdown pass a moment ago to make it a 25-14 football game here tonight at Enka High School.
Check the scoreboard while we got a break here. Pisgah now on top 14-0 in the fourth. So they lead that one in the fourth quarter. Smoky Mountain 49, Cherokee 0. Third quarter now, Robbinsville 39, Irwin 21. In that one, Hayesville and Tellico Plains still at the half, 35-6. And Murphy has opened up 26-3 lead in its states. It's at the half. Rosman all over Madison now, 34-0 in the third quarter. So a big night for Smoky Mountain Conference teams for the most part. And some impressive numbers and wins rolling out there. That Rosman-Madison score, a good one for Rosman, Murphy and Georgia Force, and then Robbinsville and Irwin.
I'll tell you, Robbinsville, they're a tough football team. They're one of those never say die teams. I remember our knockdown drag-out game last year at Swain County Memorial Stadium. Back to throw now. Enka back to live action, and the quarterback has no time. Coming in, big blitz. There's Jake Langston. There's Nick Millsaps, and there's Cody Long converging for the sack.
And that was a big-time play there by Long and Langston. They just met at the quarterback. He had no choice, and down he went for a big sack, and the Maroon Devils are going to get the ball back, a stop on that big drive. We talked about being critical, and Maroon Devils may have swung some momentum back with Enka punting here and Bryce Sane back to receive it.
That was a big play defensively. And now the Jets will punt it away. Coming on to punt now is going to be Eli Hutchins, a junior for the Jets, wearing their dark blue with The punt is going to be blocked over there, picking it up and blocking it. Charlie Lambert, the guy on the scene. Lambert came in and blocked it.
Charlie Lambert, a great
huge
job
play
right there. A huge play for Lambert, and then the presence of mind to keep his wits about him and pick that ball up and advance it down deep in Enka Jet territory. Looks like it's going to be spotted at the 14.
And Toby, you're talking about big plays. That is so far the biggest play for the Maroon Devils here in the third quarter.
And for Enka, 2 huge plays on punts. The fumbled snap on that one and then this block have loomed large in this football game.
Because this third quarter has just gone back and forth. Maroon Devils take over now with the split backs, and we run to the left side this time. This time it's going to be Bryce Sane down to near the 10, maybe the 11-yard line. And we got the word that Joe Holt said that might make the highlight reel with the block punt next week by Charlie Lambert, one of our seniors. And he's another guy both ways. Plays on the offensive line, plays linebacker. He's the man over the football every time for Damian Lossy, getting it back to him. And you admire these kids that play both ways. It's tough enough playing one way, but both ways it's a challenge. Right side looks like this time over the B gap is it's going to be our fullback Ian Brooks on the carry down near the 5-yard line. It's going to bring up third down and short.
So that's just a yard away, and the clock is down to 30 seconds left in this third period. And so the Maroon Devils would love to milk as much as they can right here off the clock. Probably they're going to have to run one more.
Yep.
If they choose to do it to get the first down, a yard away, but certainly 2 down territory, I would think, in this field position for the Devils, and that's going to be Sane for the first down. He seemed to get it to me, but now I'm not spotting the football on that field, and I might be just a little prejudiced. So.
Yeah, it's going to be very close to the line of scrimmage on the first down marker. They're going to say it's probably first down, and they're going to run the clock to the end of the third quarter. Fans, stay tuned. I tell you, this third quarter has been an interesting 12 minutes of football, and we have 12 more minutes left to play here at Enka High School. 25-14, we'll be back in 1 minute on the Maroon Devils Network.
I'm going to tell you a secret to being successful as a student and as a parent. Have your sons or daughters come to school. Chronic absenteeism is any time that a student misses more than 17 days in the school year. We have anywhere from 25 to 33% of our students at the various schools across the county who are missing 17 days or more. That's a dangerous thing because you can't learn if you're not in class. And I happen to know from some numbers that I have on my desk that if an 8th grader misses 15 days or more, they have a 62% chance of not graduating from high school. And that means if they don't graduate from high school, that they are going to have a $500,000 negative impact on Swain County. Help me take care of your sons and daughters in Swain County. Have them come to school on a regular basis, and thank you.
Fans, welcome back. Here we go. First play of the fourth quarter as the Maroon Devils are looking at first down and goal to go. It was enough for the first down as Lossy and company line him up in the split backs, and it's going to be Ian Brooks trying the right side of the line, and he got a couple before he was knocked back again. Enka Jets playing very aggressive defensively here as they're really punishing the ball carriers tonight, Toby.
Well, they're, like we said, in this second half in particular, they have played downhill and with some intent about what they're doing.
Yeah.
And that one is netted a 1-yard gain. It looked almost like his forward progress was the 2, but they pushed him back. So the spot they were given is the 3, just inside the 3 for the Maroon Devils.
Second down and goal now from the 3-yard line. Same set. Got twins on the right side. Strong side right with a tight end over there. And the split backs right behind Damian. This time the handoff to the left side. And did he get in? There's a signal touchdown. Yes, Maroon Devils, and it looked like Bryce Sane this time. I couldn't tell, but there was a lot of traffic at the goal line. Couldn't tell if that was Bryce or if that was Ian again.
Bryce got the high five. So
there we go.
I'll go with that. I'm not sure if he did or not.
I think he did. If he wasn't, he was leading the way blocking because it was there was a lot of traffic in there and a lot of bodies colliding at the goal line. Now the interesting scenario for the point after touchdown here tonight.
Blocked.
And it's going to be blocked. Wow.
And that looked like that was Phillips.
So a tough
Phillips
time.
or Maddox won.
And a tough time getting it done with our special teams tonight. Right now, 11:09 left to play. A lot of time left. 31-14 Maroon Devils. We'll be back in 1 minute right here on the Maroon Devils Network.
For the home opener at Swain Memorial Stadium.
And so welcome back. The Maroon Devils, Aiden Pond will kick it back to the always dangerous return man, Dallas Phillips, for the Enka Jets. This one is going to be high, short, away from their dangerous return men. And the ball is loose up near the 33-yard line. And the Maroon Devils come up with a football. It went way past the 10-yard necessary yardage and picked up. And nobody came up in time for the Jets. And
Robert Green on the alert play, he saw that thing hit and he scooped it up on the hop before Enka could get to it. And it's Maroon Devil football. You know, Gary, they actually have a kickoff that to do that very thing, to keep it away from the big returner, to put it in an area where the receiving team has to make a decision, and they're coming downhill to try to get it. And Green played that one perfectly.
Yeah, it was just a fact of the deep return men for the Jets didn't realize that in time. And when they got on it, it was a little too late. Damian Lossie, the quarterback, trying to pick his way in through the defense of the Jets and picks his way down to the 26-yard line. Not a bad run on the play with a gain of 5.
That was a good first down play. Damian doing a good job just following his blocking in there and kind of tiptoeing his way behind blocks to get positive yardage.
And boy, that kickoff recovery was huge. Again, heads up play by Robert Green to get on the football. And that really has changed the momentum right now with a 31-14 score over there with 10:32 left to play. Handoff right side. This time it's going to be Bryce Sane. And
that's Taylor.
It's going to be Taylor. I started to say he's a little bigger than Bryce as Carson goes 5'11", 195, and he carries down inside the 10-yard line. First down and goal to go.
Boy, how much of a luxury is it for the Maroon Devils to bring in Carson Taylor in the opening of the fourth quarter as a fresh back in there to run through that hole with reckless abandon, whereas we've been pelted all night. And he just run by tacklers because he's fresh into this ballgame. Huge game by Taylor right there, giving the Maroon Devils the first and goal on the 9.
And he's a big back at 5'11", 195. His brother Colby, 5'10", 190. So, again, they bring some size. And this time we carry down to the 5-yard line.
That's Lossie again.
Yeah, Lossie on the quarterback carry.
He fell in behind Taylor that time and got a good 4 yards out of it before the mob met him and threw him backwards. So the Maroon Devils inside the 5 now and an opportunity to score him. And, you know, on a night when special teams have been a little bit wonky, for lack of a better term, the Jets have had 3 plays that have been absolutely devastating to them.
Oh, no question. Special teams have loomed large for both teams here tonight and in different ways. This time Damian Lossie hands off to the right side, and it's going to be Taylor again. And he plows his way down to near the 2-yard line.
And he has that lower leg strength and freshness about him to be able to keep those legs churning, and fell forward to the 2. He was hitting for no gain.
He was.
And did a good job keeping his feet moving and spinning to move himself down to the 2. So 3rd and goal from the 2. Got to assume 2 downs here to get it in the end zone.
That's it. And with a score here, Toby, you got to think that would pretty much put the game out of reach for the Maroon Devils. You never say never, but that would be a pretty big lead the way this game has been going tonight. And it's going to be, it looks like Taylor again. Did he get across?
They've spotted him on the 1.
On the 1. He tried to kind of roll over the back of his lineman.
He was rolling. That's an apt description.
Yeah, that's it. So now down to the 1-yard line. 4th down and goal to go. Let's see if the Maroon Devils go with a quick count here.
Enka wants a timeout. They're trying everything they can to get a timeout over here, but they can't.
They're not seeing it at all. The head referee with his back turned, and it's going to be touchdown on the right side of the line. And the quarterback, Lossie, just right up the gut between the guard and the center. In for the 6 with 8:11 to play here at Enka High School. And you're right, the head referee never turned around and gave the Jets any chance to get a timeout.
So now the adventure starts.
And it has been an adventure. That's a good way to describe the extra point attempts here tonight for the Maroon Devil kicking game. And we've had some issues with the snaps. And there's a good snap.
Good hold. Oh, he hit the upright.
And for the second time tonight, it hits the left upright.
Why wouldn't it? Everything else has gone wrong on extra points. So.
And you'd think once in a while it would drop in across the crossbar, but nope, it bounces outside as well. 8:11 to play. We'll be back in 1 minute. Stay with us on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Smoky Mountain Conference, one of North Carolina's oldest and most storied athletic conferences, producing champions on and off the playing field for decades. The Smoky Mountain Conference. Tradition lives here.
Welcome back. The Jets bring it back. Dallas Phillips back out across the 25-yard line. And now they're saying there's a potentially loose football, and it is. The football is loose again, and for the second time in a row, the Enka Jets turned the ball over on a kickoff return. This time it was actually returned. The last time it was not, but this time Dallas Phillips got hit, and apparently the ball was stripped away.
34, Colby Taylor with the recovery over there, and it gives the Maroon Devils the ball on the 27-yard line.
So again, I'll tell you, and that has really been the difference in the game tonight, Toby. I know the Enka Jets have played really hard football, but mistakes, penalties, and a couple of turnovers have really, really hurt their effort here tonight.
And Swain takes a timeout.
So a timeout on the field. And we'd like to remind you, we got plenty of activities coming up athletically this week. We have volleyball coming up on the road Tuesday at Hayesville, at home Thursday with Murphy, and then after that, Robbinsville on the road on September 17. We got soccer, 2 home games this week. On Monday, home with Tallulah Falls, and then on Wednesday, we're going to be hosting Madison. And in football next week, JVs are going to be at Cherokee on Thursday, and the varsity over in the Panther Pit in Franklin on Friday. And Toby, and I love your reference to the old Smoky Mountain Conference back when Franklin, Murphy, Swain, Silver Webster, all 2A. We played each other twice a year, home and away, and man, I tell you, those were the days, but hey, everything changes.
Well, I tell you, it's hard for people in today's football game to wrap their head around playing Franklin twice in the season.
Oh.
But we did it in those days, and it was brutal.
And back in those days, Silver Webster had some guys named Streeter.
Yep.
And they didn't lose much, believe me, in anything. Just dynamic athletes. Here we go. Maroon Devils with the football again after the jet fumble on the kickoff return at the 27-yard line on first down. Not much, maybe a yard or two. Going to spot it at the 25 for a second down, and about 8 to go at the 25.
And that was Lossy on the carry, and he got nothing. He was eaten alive down there by the Jet defense.
Yeah, the Jet defense has been very aggressive here in the second half. And again, their secondary people have really come hard after the football. Folks in there like Shannon Gakusana and again Dallas Phillips, DJ Maddox. Their secondary people have a nose for the football. This time, Maroon Devils split backs. Lossy turns, hands off. This time it's going to be the other Taylor, I believe. I think this is Carson Taylor, if I got my numbers right. And again, Carson, again on the carry. He's carried a couple of times here tonight.
And the Maroon Devils being very deliberate on offense now, Gary. The play clock down to 2 before Damian snapped that one. And it's the play clock that he faces is off to his right. It's out of the picture that most of our fans see. But Maroon Devils content to let that tick all the way down as much as they can. And they would love to probably get out of here with a W and not have Enka get but one more possession out of this.
That's it. We saw the play clock there with our cameraman Joe Holt. We hand off this time just over the C gap outside the right side of the offensive line, and there's Colby Taylor again on the carry. Check that, Carson Taylor. I get Carson and Colby confused, 32 and 34. Of course, they are brothers.
I think we've got a Taylor backfield with Carson and Colby both in there right now in the backfield.
Got them both in there.
Spelling Sane and Brooks.
Of course, Carson is the sophomore wearing number 32, and Colby is the senior wearing number 34, but they're kind of similar in size. Colby 5'10", 190, Carson 5'11", 195.
And run with a similar style, a very aggressive,
very
hard-hitting, physical style.
They are. They're and this time we run to the left side, and this time it is going to be Colby. And
he fumbled it.
Uh-oh.
Nope, they're going to call him down.
Yeah, Maroon Devils say it's still our football, and the officials agree. And they're going to spot it down near, we'll call it the 12, almost the 13-yard line. Second down coming up now with 5.5 minutes to play and counting. But it's hard to believe that in just a couple of weeks we're going to be opening conference play. We, of course, play at Franklin next Friday. And, Toby, we're going to be open on September 22nd. Or 27th, rather. September 27, we're going to be, no, check that. September 20, we're open. Then September 27, we come back and host Cherokee to open conference play. Running to the right side again, it's going to be the Taylor combo. Carson on the carry this time. Running on the right side, short of the first down at the 8-yard line.
Clock ebbing its way under 5 minutes now. And Damian's going to run all the way to the sideline to get the play from Coach McNahan to take even more time off the clock. So here he comes jogging back in to run the play now.
Of course, he's a little fresh. So he only has to play offense.
That's true. That's true.
Not giving Damian a hard time, but most of those other guys out there with him play both ways. But Damian does a heck of a job, and it's always wise. Got to keep your quarterback healthy. Almost in the end zone. I think the knee hit over there for Carson Taylor. He stretched it, and the ball hit the plane of the goal line. Are they going to give it to him?
They gave him a touchdown.
They gave him a touchdown. Hey, we'll take it. So touchdown again. Outstanding run. Carson Taylor stretched as far as he could stretch with that football and cross the plane, they said, and that's good for 6. And that's what matters. 6 on the scoreboard.
So now we're going to try an extra point again.
Oh, boy.
Fresh slate.
That's it. Good snap, good hold.
That's good.
I think it got through. Wow, I think this one got through. 4:24 to play, and we got one across the crossbar, 44-14. Our score. Fans will be back after we take a 1-minute break right here on the Maroon Devils Network.
Taylor Holt with the Maroon Devils Network. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you enjoy our videos, please hit the notification bell down below so you can get a notification every time that we upload a video.
Thank you, Taylor Holt, and welcome back here on the Maroon Devils Network. 4:24 to play here on the road. Our next to last non-conference game, if you will, we're going to be at Franklin next Friday, then open before we open conference play with Cherokee. Here comes a deep kickoff. This time it's going to be taken at the 13. On the return, it's going to be Eli Hutchins. Hutchins in traffic. Now check that. That may be Jared Smith, number 9. On the return, it is number 9, not number 4.
It looks like a 4.
It did. Jared Smith, number 9 on the return, doing a good job. And the Jets will get it back here with 4:16 to play.
So, Gary, the Maroon Devils did exactly what they wanted on that last drive, which is milk some clock off of there, take some time away from Enka, and in the end be able to punch it across. And we got a timeout. Swain, as Coach Neil Blankenship is.
Well, we got a whole new defense.
Yeah, he's going to align his defense here during this timeout.
I mean, everybody. I was looking out there, Toby. I don't think there's a single starter out there right now.
It looks like a lot of fresh folks. Let's take a look at the scoreboard during that break if you want to. Pisgah now on top of Tuscola 19-9 in that big contest over in Haywood County, the one that is such a rivalry. Robbinsville now up their lead. Says the third quarter, but it's probably early fourth. 58-21 now. Robbinsville leaves Irwin. Tellico Plains up 41-6 over Hayesville now. That's in the fourth. Murphy has jumped out in the second half to a 33-3 lead over the Georgia Force. And Rosman now has run their lead over Madison to 34-6. And Cherokee and Smoky have gone final. The Mustangs pick up their first win of the season, 49-7 over Cherokee. That was at Cherokee tonight.
I'll tell you, Smoky might be the best 1 and 2 team in the mountains. They're a tough bunch. Back to throw now. It's going to be Logan Sanders for the Jets. He swings it out wide to the right side. Missed one tackle, but coming up with the big hit is going to be Trip Peterson, a junior over there, coming in for the Maroon Devil defense. And the open field tackle for a short gain on first down. But a lot of new faces on defense. We'll try to get as many names and numbers. Andrew Chavez is in there. As we mentioned, Trip Peterson, Noah Romero. And I'll tell you, Noah played a good game last week.
Yeah, he's done some great fill-in work at giving rest to players in those first 2 games. And he's done a fantastic job. So it's good to see him get out there and get some time here in this one.
Elias Watkins also in there for the Maroon Devils, number 59, as this time the Jets quarterback running, and he is knocked down on the play. Coming in with a heat over there is Aiden Allison, number 62, but a penalty flag is down on the play. And
intentional grounding.
Ooh, quarterback threw it away, trying to avoid the tackle, and that hurts.
Yeah, that's going to be a loss of down too, isn't it?
Yeah. Some other new defenders, Robert Green in there, who had a big play earlier.
Good fumble recovery for Robert on that alert play. And Zach Stepp in the secondary as well. I can't see the corner on the other side's number.
Andrew Chavez is in there.
Looks like it's 2. That would be John Parton over on that other corner. And we'll get you some of those interior lineman numbers. 72's out there. That's Sam Bernheisel.
Cameron Blankenship, number 9. He's playing deep center field safety, if you will. And as you mentioned, Sam Bernheisel, he's a big lad, 6'4", 225-pound sophomore. Also joining him in there is, of course, check that, Connor Driver, number 65.
Yep.
Another big sophomore.
I think I see another 6 over there on that left tackle side. We'll try to get his name here in just a second as the Jets lost some yardage and now lost it down. It's 3rd and forever.
3rd and long now. Back to throw again. Plenty of time right down the middle, and he overthrows his man. Tried to shoot it downfield. But good coverage back there by the secondary, and the pass incomplete. So the Jets are going to have to kick it away. As we mentioned, Elias Watkins in there.
I think that's 60.
And 60 would be Bren Jackson for the Devils on the defensive front.
Yeah, it's 60.
You're exactly right, Toby. 60 in there. Bren along with Connor Driver, number 65. Guys getting some playing time. Here they come after the punter. Low snap, and he gets it away. Line drive punt. No return man back with 2:55 to play, and the ball is going to roll all the way down to the 30, yard line. And that's where the Maroon Devils will take over 1st and 10. And I have a feeling we're going to see some new faces on offense as well as we saw on defense that series.
Yeah, I think you're right, Gary. We'll see some wholesale changes, I'm sure. 2:46 left in this one. The Maroon Devils comfortably in command, and they would be ecstatic to see the 2:46 just go ahead and drain off the clock on this possession, and let's get on the bus and go back towards Bryson City with a 3-0 start.
And they are trying to get some guys over on the sideline to assemble a new offense coming in.
We may have to burn our last time out just to get our offense set. We've taken the last time out here just to get the offense set and on there. And, Gary, that gives us a chance, you and I, to talk just a little bit about last time the Maroon Devils had a 3-0 start. My guess is 2013 or maybe 14. I know 12 was a 3-0 start for sure.
Wow, that's an interesting question, Toby Burrell. It has been a few years to get out of the gates because we play some tough non-conference teams every year.
Yeah, and the importance of that, Gary, is that was the last time we were in a position to host or run a playoff games.
That's an interesting stat.
So what happens with this non-conference schedule that a lot of times people want to throw out and say, only the conference matters? Well, if you want to host a playoff game where we are in the Big 1A, you better take care of some of these or you're in trouble.
Yes, because that strength of schedule, the formula that Max Preps likes to use, does incorporate that.
It does. It does. You're right. And so these wins are really important to get better as we play. Of course, the standard coaching things that you want to have happen to get better, but more importantly, it's from a standpoint of being able to be in that position.
And the new quarterback is going to be Cameron Blankenship, number 9. A sophomore. He's going to be under center with split backs behind him. And he's going to hand off to, we'll try to get some names and numbers of some
gain right there.
Of some new men running the football as well, as the regular backs are getting a little breather. And that looks like
Chavez,
number 30. That's Andrew Chavez. Yeah, number 30. He's in the backfield. John Parton is in there as a wide receiver, number 2. Some of your linemen include 59, Elias Watkins, 60, Bryn Jackson. A couple we can
56.
see. 56. Yep, there's 56. That's Michael Winchester. And this time coming wide to the right side, it's going to be Seth Schuler, number 13. So again, we like to give a lot of credit where credit is due as the Maroon Devils run to the right side of the line this time.
They're going to be close to first down, Gary.
Yeah. Some good yardage and good offensive surge.
So that's 39. Into the ball game is Chris Singley. His first appearance as he comes in and out will go
Zach
Stepp.
So a lot of new folks in and out of the game tonight. And again, hey, those guys practice, as you know, Toby, all week as well. So I'm sure they're excited to get some playing time on Friday night.
Well, this is how you develop depth, Gary.
Yes.
It is giving kids opportunities out here and then seeing how they perform.
Now in the backfield, we've got Andrew Chavez and Chris Singley, number 31, 30 and 31. And this time it's going to be 30 on the carry.
I believe he got the first down.
Yes, very close. It's going to be Andrew Chavez, 5'7", 160-pound junior.
If he's done that and we want to, we might be able to do victory formation, although Enka, I believe, still has 3 timeouts left.
You're right. I don't think they've used one at all. That is the first down. Maroon Devils here with 1:12 to play, and the clock will start to run. And the Maroon Devils will put the finishing touches on a 44-14 win here tonight on the road at Enka. Now checking in with the play, the quarterback again, Cameron Blankenship. Sophomore. Wide to the right side is going to be 13. Again, Seth Schuler. Up top is John Parton, number 2. And the handoff goes to the left side. Boy, Enka plugged that hole, though, and Chris Singley has nowhere to run. But we were talking about class size. Toby, our senior class has 14, but our sophomore class is a good class as well with 14 kids.
And you've seen some of those guys into the starting lineup already. Grunwald and Jones are both in the starting lineup on offense and defense. They're sophomores.
Yes.
And then we call the number of the Taylor boy, Carson Taylor, who's a sophomore.
So a lot of good sophomores in the trenches for the Maroon Devils. making the future bright. Second down here, and this will be the final play of the ball game. The snap is dropped. Maroon Devils get on it. It doesn't matter. The clock runs out, and that's going to be the end of the ball game here tonight, Toby, as the Maroon Devils win it 44-14. Fans, stay tuned. We're going to take a 2-minute timeout, and we'll be back to wrap it up. Stay with us back in 2 minutes on the Maroon Devils Network.
The Center for Disease Control sent out an alert this week. It stated that 215 students in 26 different states have come down with severe pulmonary diseases because of their use of e-cigarettes. They come in all shapes and sizes. They might look like a lighter. They might look like a pen. Or they might look like a flash drive. It just depends. Here's the concern. We really don't know how much damage e-cigarettes can do, but we do know they contain nicotine very often. And nicotine and the adolescent brain don't go together very well. So please, help me watch, and let's ask our youth, what are you smoking, and do you know what it'll do to you? Let's cut down the use of e-cigarettes, just like we have the use of cigarettes, tobacco cigarettes, in the past 20 years. Thank you very much. Thank you for helping me take care of the youth of Swain County, and God bless you.
I'm Taylor Holt with the Maroon Devils Network. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe. And if you enjoy our videos, please hit the notification bell down below so you can get a notification every time that we upload a video.
Back on the postgame show from Enka High School here tonight. Gary Ayers, Toby Burrell. Kobe, obviously the stats reflect what we saw on the scoreboard with the Maroon Devils 44-14 win.
They sure did, Gary. Maroon Devils 61 offensive plays, 338 yards. Enka 39 plays, 156 yards. The Maroon Devils 100 yards passing, 5 of 11 on the night, and 238 yards on the ground for the Maroon Devils. Time of possession favored by the Maroon Devils almost by 10 minutes there.
Wow.
And then more importantly, 2 big turnovers for Enka on fumbles, not to mention the special teams play, which, as we said, was almost catastrophic for them from the get-go. Individually, we have Bryce Sane leading the way with 81 yards. So Bryce comes up short of another 100-yard game, but I thought he had an outstanding night.
He did.
Personally, with 16 carries. Carson Taylor was second on the team with 44 yards on 8 carries, and then you had Lossie with 10 carries, 35 yards, and Donovan Grunwald with the touchdown run on the reverse of 32 yards. I thought another good night of passing from Damian, 5 of 11 overall, 100 yards again through the air with a touchdown. Langston with 2 receptions, 37 yards. Bryce Sane, Gage Jones, and Donovan Grunwald 1 reception each on the night. Lossie had 2 punts for 27-yard average. And the Maroon Devils, with the blocked punt, had the better upper hand in the punting game, I believe, on the night for them.
No doubt. And one thing that impressed me with Damian Lossie, he was 5 of 11, but I can think of probably 3 plays, Toby, where he literally threw the ball away and made the right decision not to throw it to a guy who was covered or had no chance to catch the ball. So 3 of those, I know they show up on Damian's stats, but they were good plays.
They were, and those that you're talking about are also ones where he avoided a sack by throwing that ball away and just saying, we don't have anything on this play, let's just reset and go again. And those are things that you expect to see growth-wise from a sophomore year to a junior year. in every position. It's more prevalent and more visible in a quarterback position, but it's also offensive, defensive linemen making that step up and taking that growth step and recognizing things a little easier than they did the year before. And I think that's something that's indicative of this team. I feel certain that Coach Blankenship and his staff are going to be very disappointed in some of the sloppy special teams play. A couple of those penalties early on that forwarded drives that were just penalties that he doesn't want his team to take.
Yeah. Yeah, and you're right. Those point-after-touchdown conversions are so big. If once you get in a close game and you miss 2 or 3 of those, that can really mean the difference between a win and a loss, especially down the road with teams like Franklin coming up and Robbinsville and Murphy. Those teams come to mind immediately. You've got to come up with every point you can and every conversion you can. And, I'm sure the coaches are going to work on that and improve that right away.
Yeah, I think that's imperative for them, and it's going to be even more imperative going into Franklin week because those are the kind of mistakes, frankly, you can't make at Franklin and expect to come away with a win. And I'm quite sure those are not the mistakes that Franklin are going to make in their special teams play. So those will be big going into next week. And it'll be a big week for the Maroon Devils going into Franklin next week and then having the week off the week after that, as we start into that conference play portion of it. But as we said, it's been a while since we've been 3-0 at this juncture in our non-conference schedule, and that offers a lot of positives for this Maroon Devil squad. And I know that from their standpoint, Coach Neil Blankenship and his staff would love to be 4-0.
Oh, no doubt about it. And I think they're going to work hard this week and try to do just that, to try to improve and get to that 4-0 point next week with a very tough game. And a very tough place to win is over at the Panther Pit in Franklin, as looks like we have some activities going on down on the field. And I'm not sure what that is about. But
just, I think it's just good sportsmanship. They're hanging around, friends, talking to each other, and good to see.
Yeah, from both sides.
From both sides.
Yeah, we got guys from Swain and Enka over there talking and having some good sportsmanship and some good fun after the game, and that is really good to see. It's been a while since we played Enka, but it's good to see those guys down there celebrating each other and enjoying what good fun high school football really is.
Absolutely.
Fans, that's going to wind it up. 44-14, our final here. Join us again next Friday. We'll be back 7 o'clock when we go to the Panther Pit in Franklin to take on the Panthers. Join us then, and have a great weekend from your friends here at the Maroon Devils Network.